We're greenlit. We are live, people.
You mean we got picked up for the pilot?
Here we freaking go. Okay. So obviously we're going to wait a little while to see who comes in here.
Yeah.
I want to tweet it.
Tweet that shit, Frostex. Share it to the world, my man.
Everyone will know.
Everyone will know. Oh, we got people jumping in. What's up, everyone? Don't mind me, I'm just snacking on some snacks.
Snacking on some snacks.
Oh, I like your. I see you've got that background image for where you put your chat as well.
Yeah. So why not?
Oh, ask your chat if me and Frostex are loud enough, because when I listened back to our stream the other night, I think I might have been a bit quieter than I thought I was.
Thank you for reminding me. I have to adjust the desktop audio. Boom. You should be loud and clear now.
Bonjour. Oh, hey, Spectrum of Spectres. I see you there in the DB Discord. No, in the DB chat.
In the DB chat. All right. Okay. So we got people flowing in. Welcome everybody to the stream. Just going to wait for a few more people to hop in. But I'm joined today by the one and only Psycho Gold. His link is in the description below to his Twitch. He's also live right now. And I'm also joined by my boy Frostex Flames.
Hello, people. How are you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to put your channel in the description, my dude.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so let's do this. But welcome everybody to the stream. As you know, this is a podcast. It was supposed to start 2 hours ago. But hey, you know, life and all that stuff. Okie dokie.
Actually, I'm not going to stream. I'm just gonna direct people to the DB Geek stream instead.
Yeah, do what you need to do, my dude.
I retweeted your tweet because I got too lazy to tweet it. I was like, I'm gonna type in every single one. Oh, Psycho tweeted it. That makes it much better.
Alright. So, how is everybody doing at home today? We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff here tonight. So prepare yourselves. Brace yourselves. This is going to be a fun one.
Prepare yourself for an evening of epic awesomeness.
There you go. That's it.
I'm too
Couldn't have
jealous
said it
for
better
you
myself.
You guys can make some amazing voices. I'm just here like, hi. I have a high-pitched voice. I can do Gollum.
I can do Gollum too, actually, believe it or not.
Ooh.
Alrighty. So there we go. Okay. Ready, rocking and rolling. Alright, so welcome everybody to the stream. We are live right now. So we got over 30 people in here already, which is cool.
Nice.
Sweet. Alright, so let's go check out this chat and see what you guys are saying first, and then we'll do some shout outs. Let's get into this. So the SGRO Bros Entertainment was first. Congratulations for being first, my dude. Mr. Michael Lawson, welcome, dude. Longtime supporter. Manos Buzawi. Don't know how to pronounce that name, but hey, what's up, dude? Spectrum of Spectres, what's up, bro? Longtime supporter also. Tom Thomas. Yep. Bradley Briggs is always here also. Sup, dude? Ninja Pivot. Low Key Sanity. Cool name. James Osborne. You should watch Steins Gate. Seen Steins Gate, dude. I don't feel so good. Disappears. Oh,
oh no!
So it
no. Don't remind me.
Hey, I understood that reference.
Same.
Good day, good night, Zapduck, everyone. Okay, that was Jeremy Josson.
I'm laughing at the comment that says 2 hours late. Somebody has a tardy slip, and it's like, yes, and it's not me or Frostex, so keep us out of it.
You're looking at him. Guilty as charged. Okay, let's do this. Oh, Frostex Flames is in the chat as well.
Typed in lol. When when I saw you starting to say people's names, I'm like, I gotta get on this.
Well, you gotta get that. You gotta get that DB endorsement.
Oh,
Yes.
we got Psycho Gold in here as well. It's funny how you guys are live and chatting.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in on the stream, guys.
Ah,
You're
no
welcome.
problem.
Steven Z is in the chat. What's up, Steve?
Hello.
Oh, hey Steve. I checked out your channel the other day on recommendation of DB Geek from our previous stream, and I definitely liked your stuff. You'll probably get some comments from me in the future, dude.
Okay. All right. Again, excuse me, I'm snacking on snacks.
Hey, Spectrum would like, and this is an in-joke for FrostX and DB, sorry chat, but Spectrum's just said that BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is out now. I bet that would be a fun game to get. Maybe I should stream that sometime.
Well, we all know you're going to be streaming it now, boy. Alrighty. So. Okay, so we're fresh, we're live, we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So, where would you like us to start, DB Geek? What has been on your mind lately?
Interesting. I want to start things off. Let's just get straight into it, okay?
Cable or Thanos?
Cable or Thanos? Cable, definitely Cable. Much better physique.
Cable.
Yeah, I've got to go with Cable as well.
Okay, so speaking of Thanos, Infinity War.
God.
Yep.
First
I believe
thoughts. Okay,
I've heard of it.
I'm gonna ask Frostex first, since you're so fresh in the mind.
Yeah.
What was your first thoughts? What's your first opinions on the movie? Go.
Going into the movie, I actually didn't expect that much because most of the times movies like this that get hyped up by a lot of people usually don't end up like living to the hype. But I actually really liked it from beginning to end. Like no scene was like boring or something like. Well, some of the scenes were just like stretched out a bit just for me, but the other scenes were like amazing. I love it. I actually, just from an emotional standpoint, I put it second under Deadpool, but professionally looking, I put it at number one. The movie is the best Marvel movie so far.
So you've enjoyed it then?
Yes.
No surprise there. No surprise there. So, like, would you say that there's some scenes that are too stretched out? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Some like, for example, when Iron Man got in. Am I allowed to spoil?
Well, this is a podcast talking about loads of stuff, so yes, you can spoil. I mean, if people are coming in here and haven't seen that movie, please leave the stream. Well,
yeah.
Don't leave. Don't leave, please. No, but
put
seriously,
it on mute.
Put it on mute. Just read the chat.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go on, dude. What were you gonna say?
The scene where Iron Man was on the ship and he, his woman, quote unquote, called him and she was like, "Are you on the ship?" No, stuff like that. It was kind of, I don't know. I didn't like feel any need to add that. I mean, to be fair, looking at it, it actually adds up a bit. But for me, it just wasn't that type of thing. It was like a wasted 10 minutes, just of Iron Man contemplating whether he should stay on the ship or not.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, just silly stuff like that. But overall, like, the entrances were made really well from start to finish. Like the whole coming in the start, that was amazing. Thor coming in, that was the best scene on the movie. I'm sorry.
You thief.
I'm sorry.
I take it you enjoyed that scene as well, Psycho.
We were literally talking about this before
Yes.
you came on, and I've literally described this scene for line for line describing it. It's my favorite scene in the film.
I like it too.
I think that goes for a lot of people, though. I mean, seeing Thor kind of come in and just finally being the god that he is really kind of put a smile on everybody's faces, you know?
For me, it was Thor's entrance, but for me, what made that sequence is the fact that every Avenger and member of Black Panther's army is like stunned, and you've got Bruce Banner just hysterically laughing and then just yells, "You're all screwed now."
Yeah, that's definitely
what made
the
it
icing on the cake. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that entrance though. Obviously now he can summon the Bifrost and just transport it anywhere
Yeah.
with the freaking Stormbreaker.
I knew you'd do that in the Dinklage voice. You
Of
can't
course,
not
you
say
had
it.
to.
Yeah,
It's a bit much.
I was thinking in my head, like, can I say this word without going into the voice? I'm just not going to say it. And then you did.
I can't say it without doing the voice. Stormbreaker. You just have to do it.
I know.
I'm
it's
saying
just
get over
ridiculous.
here without Scorpion's voice.
No, I can't. Mr. Michael Lawson, thank you for the $2 donation, dude. First super chat, can't stay long due to work. Spidey, no. Oh, dude, don't do that to me. Oh, God. But thank you, dude. Thank you. Thanks for being here anyway. That's awesome.
Xanthi Lopez just spoiled on the chat. So anyone that muted the stream and now looking at the chat just got spoiled the fuck out.
Oh, well.
It's all right. I typed spoiler warning in big capital letters. I'm sure everybody paid attention.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should put that in the title of this stream.
Yeah.
Might be a good idea, you know?
But yeah, it was like the #1 movie 2018.
Really?
But the second Friendly Neighborhood didn't become a Friendly Neighborhood, I was like, shit, this is not good. This is bad. Go away. I started literally. I got kicked out of the cinema because I was crying so much. I started screaming, and I was like, "You don't understand. This shit is so much for me." Spider-Man was like the first like actual hero that I was like.
Obviously,
This
Spider-Man.
thing is-
Spider-Man is the general superhero, I like to call him. Everybody kind of knows Spider-Man. He's kind of like Batman and Superman of DC. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
have to be a superhero fan to know who these guys are, you know, Spider-Man is kind of like the face of the Marvel universe. I want to call him because everybody
It's
knows
like
who he
Goku.
is.
It's like
Basic-
Goku in the anime world.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Goku's like the mascot for anime. Cause
Like
most
Naruto, something like that.
Yeah. But Psycho, what like overall, like from your, not to say first viewing, but you know how many times you watched it. I think you only watched it once though. I think, did you?
Yes, I've only watched it once.
Okay, so basically, first opinions. How did you enjoy the film? Did you like the film? Is there stuff you didn't like about the film? Go into super detail. I want to know.
I really enjoyed the film. My favorite scene is when Thor appeared, but my actual favorite moment was when they are searching for the Soul Stone and Red Skull returned to
Oh yeah.
the big screen, because I did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
I had
No clue.
millions of predictions for what we were going to see. Red Skull coming back was not one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
like that big deal that happened in Deadpool, but we'll get to that.
Yes, we'll get to that. But yeah,
Continue.
seeing the Red Skull come back and actually giving closure to what the hell happened to him was just perfect. And to see what his character had become and his role in the film was really just like a nice little send-off. And if he were to make an appearance in Avengers 4, that would be incredible, in my opinion.
Oh yes, definitely. Before you
I-
continue, thank you, Brittany Williams, for the $5 donation, saying "Gotta support." You're supporting by being in the stream. That's enough support I need. Anyway, continue, dude.
Oh, sorry, I was just like several people have just said like it. Yeah, Justin just said I lost my shit when Skull came back. It's like exactly. It was just such a brilliant moment.
It was
And,
a really good addition to the movie. I mean, they could have left that out because people have, I'm not going to say forgotten about Red Skull, but he was kind of
No, they
you know.
definitely have. Stasius, someone who I stream with and like one of my best friends in real life, she saw the film and she had no clue who he was, and she is a big Marvel fan, and she'd
Wow.
forgotten who Red Skull was.
She
and
actually
she had
forgot. Wow.
she had to rewatch Captain America to remember like why he was significant and why he was even there, you know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but see, obviously, like the likes of myself, yourself, and all that, we're like,
Oh, yeah, obviously
you're
we
not
know.
going to forget about these characters, but they wouldn't be in your mind watching Infinity War. That's why it made it such a treat to see him again. It's just like,
Yes.
whoa, so this is where he is now. Like, so it was such a good addition to it. But
Yeah,
as
definitely.
far as I
Yeah.
know, it wasn't Hugo Weaving that played.
No,
this.
it wasn't.
No.
It was I can't think of the guy's name, but he was literally hired because his Hugo Weaving impersonation is so well known amongst Hollywood.
No way, really? Why didn't they just get Hugo Weaving?
because he doesn't want to play Red Skull. That's why Red Skull never came back in any of the other films. He was supposed to. He was contracted to do more than one film as the Red Skull, but Hugo Weaving himself said he really didn't enjoy filming Captain America. He didn't enjoy the process of it anywhere near as much as he thought he would, and he said he would come back if they were to enforce his contract obligation, but it would not be something he wants to do, and therefore wouldn't be something he'd put in his best work. So he said he hopes the studio never would, and obviously they haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense, I guess. I mean, why would you keep doing something if you don't enjoy it?
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Like he said, he'd never done a superhero film. He wanted to try it. The character is really cool and complex, but he just didn't really enjoy it. And not being funny, the first Captain America I did enjoy, but it's not one of Marvel's best, and it wasn't. And I think like Hugo kind of got the short end of the stick there. Like if he'd been able to imagine if like something like the Winter Soldier had Red Skull in the background somewhere, be pulling the strings instead of random Hydra old man, you know?
True.
And then Hugo probably could have had more to play with. But Infinity War was good.
Yeah.
You liked it then? Was there
No, I have a lot of
anything you didn't like?
You know, I remember thinking that there were some issues, but overall, they didn't stay with me as I came out of the cinema because that ending just blew my... Oh, that ending just... I mean, I've never seen a cinema react so heavily to what happens in a film. And I saw Star Wars The Force Awakens on opening night, and that crowd was alive. But when the heroes started dying, like everyone around me in the cinema just started falling apart. Especially when Black Panther bit the dust. Like there were people behind me that literally screamed. I've never had that sort of experience in the cinema. I'm like, okay, guys, calm down.
At least they didn't.
He made a lot of money. He'll be back.
Of course he'll be back. Of course he will. But I know it's that general, surprise, that shock. It's not like out of every single movie, what was it, 18, 19 movies that they've released, this is the most different ending they could ever pull.
Definitely.
Like, feeling-wise. I mean, we're always come with a happy ending when it comes to a Marvel movie. But this one literally wrenches your heart out of your chest and stomps on it.
The thing is, but like, there are a lot of theories that I had throughout the movie, especially in the end when, like, I didn't get the ending that I expected to have. Like, what if Doctor Strange, like, let Thanos win?
He did.
By giving him the time stone. Because throughout Infinity War, like, Doctor Strange insists that if it comes down to it, like the time stone, he'll let Iron Man and Spider-Man die. Like, and anyone else. And he saw like 14 million outcomes, as they put it. And there was only like one outcome that they won in. So maybe that was part of it. Maybe like half of the universe dying, but in the end, Thanos won't get the full control out of the Infinity Gauntlet.
At the end of the day, like, they said it in the very first film, the Avengers suck at protecting the Earth, but they can damn well sure avenge it.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Right. They do suck at defending the Earth.
There isn't really anything that is screaming out at me that I didn't like. There was stuff that I didn't like when I was watching the film that I think fixed itself as time went on. The thing I definitely didn't like to begin with, but it's the best one that they've done, is at the end, I do remember thinking, oh look, it's a huge generic CGI army to fight the Avengers. We've never seen that before. I wonder how this will go. But to their credit, they actually did make that quite different to the hordes of Ultrons and the ridiculously nondescript villains from the first Avengers film. So I kind of liked that in the end. I know what you mean by generic kind of war scene, but it was actually done very well. Like you said, it was very different. The thing is, my partner hit the nail on the head with this film for me, which is that the whole film feels more brutal than any other Marvel film, including, as you just said, that war sequence. It actually feels like it has stakes. There's real conflict. I mean, think about it. By the time you get to that scene, Loki was dead for real. We'd lost Heimdall.
Oh yeah, let's not like go there. I mean, what? First 10 minutes and bang, Loki's dead. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Loki's dead. Heimdall's dead. We don't know what happened to Valkyrie or any of the other characters from Thor Ragnarok who were on that ship. And then we've lost Gamora, which was like unexpected and heartbreaking. We've seen Star-Lord fall apart. We saw Nebula not being particularly pleased. We had all of these emotional characters, and then we've got Scarlet Witch desperately trying to save Vision. And then all of a sudden, we have this massive fight that involves these creatures that are so homicidal, that they are throwing themselves at a shield that is eviscerating them, and they just don't care. Plus, they've got these huge, massive monster hulking things that seem to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Avengers that very much want to skin them alive, especially Black Widow after they save them in the subway. It's just one of those things that you just think, when you stack it all up, you think, this film is going in a completely different direction in terms of tone, and I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, it didn't feel like your typical Marvel movie. Obviously, there is scenes, they have to give you that familiarity of a Marvel movie, so you know you're watching one. But then there's some things that they take, there's turns that they take, and you're like, okay, didn't see that coming. This is different. I like different. This needs to keep happening.
The thing is, right, what if I have another theory? I know, I'm the theory man right now. I only, like, give ideas, and you guys just fight it over. But everyone, like, what if everyone that disappeared after Thanos got all the stones is actually trapped in the Soul Stone? What if that is it? Like,
you think Thanos could be trapped in the Soul Stone?
No, I feel like
he's saying everybody who died in the snap isn't actually dead, but they're trapped in the Soul Stone. Their souls are in there, so therefore they could be freed, and they were never actually dead. Therefore, Marvel isn't actually reversing character deaths.
Yes.
I like your thinking, dude. That's
because, like,
clever.
I know Marvel. They wouldn't kill like that many like heroes at once without having like a backup plan, because fans, you know, the fan outrage is bad.
I mean, of course, the characters aren't gone. I mean, that's like saying Disney just flushed down billions of dollars down the toilet, like, you know.
What I mean by that is that they would make an appearance in Avengers 4 and like help Captain Marvel. I
think the purpose of eliminating most of the main heroes or whatever is to make room for more, because well, you go on. What were you gonna say?
The characters that are left are the original Avengers, and it's all of the people that they've introduced that have died. So I actually think that somehow, don't ask me how, I'm not theorizing on how, that all that's going to happen in Avengers 4 is they will come back, but all of our original heroes, they're going to sacrifice themselves to make that happen. And then that's going to be them finally sort of departing. Because we all know that Robert Downey and Chris Evans have kind of like had enough, in inverted commas.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, like
God,
you said,
could you imagine if that was the case? And like you saying that now, like if you thought this movie was bad, the next movie is gonna be a million times worse. Well, as I've said to you, Scott, like I'm reading the Infinity Gauntlet right now, and I know it's potentially future spoilers for the next film. And if this film takes any sort of material from this comic, people are going to be depressed for months. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I know most of the spoilers from Infinity Gauntlet, and I also know how it ends. And I think the inclusion, there are several ways that Marvel can get themselves out of these deaths that don't even have to involve the Soul Stones. Say the Quantum Realm from the upcoming Ant-Man and Wasp film. If they scream the words time travel at us in this upcoming Ant-Man and Wasp film, I'm calling it right now that that's going to be involved. And there's obviously Captain Marvel, who is being touted as being like on a power scale that none of the other Avengers have ever seen. Is the exact
Thor and everything.
Yep. So
what I think is that like them traveling to the Soul World would be a great plot for Avengers 4. I think that would be the plot for Avengers 4. That's why I said that, or gave the idea that everyone who died didn't actually die. Because imagine them, like Captain Marvel and the rest that didn't die, travel to the Soul World, some type of like device or some type of technology or something like that, and just bring them all back and just fight Thanos and win. Just basic stuff.
I mean,
possibly
it could happen. I mean, I think I don't know if any of you guys seen the new concept art for Avengers 4. Any of you guys see it?
Yes, I did.
It kind of clearly shows who's going to be the team. The original Avengers plus Captain Marvel.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So I like what you said, Scott. Potentially, it could be just the original Avengers with Captain Marvel in this next movie, potentially sacrificing themselves to bring back the rest that are still very, very fresh in the franchise. So, like, I mean, I know, like, I think it was 2 years ago, I think Robert Downey Jr. actually wanted to leave the role as Iron Man, so they just paid him more money, so he stayed. So he could be potentially finished altogether now because he's done enough movies as it is. He started the freaking universe, for God's sake. And of course, Captain America, I think he's done as well. Plus, if the story goes the way it's supposed to go,
pretty much,
then he's pretty much dead anyway. So you could be onto something. You could. The whole Soul Stone concept could potentially be something as well, but I don't know what route they go. I mean, when it comes to the movies, it's similar to the comics, but it's totally different at the same time. So they could go.
Oh yeah, totally different.
Yeah.
I said to Frostex before the stream started when we were waiting for you. Like, I have the only two things that I think will happen in the next stream is in the next film. Will be we will finally hear either Captain America or Iron Man, and more than likely both of them in unison. They still haven't spoken a bloody word. In that entire film, they never actually talk. But I think that the words that they will say will be Avengers Assemble at last, because it's their last chance to say them. And I don't think that they're brave enough to get rid of these characters without actually saying the words of the team that we've watched for 4 films. And the second thing I think that will happen is if the original Avengers are going to have a rematch against Thanos, I think that they'll do really well. I think Captain Marvel will have her moment in the spotlight where she single-handedly beats his ass, but won't actually win. I think she won't have quite enough power in her to win against him, and I think Thanos will say something along the lines of, "You really thought you could stand a chance against me?" And somehow he will get in the phrase, "I am the strongest of them all," and that's gonna suddenly give Bruce Banner like a PTSD, I'm wigging out moment, and then Hulk's gonna come out of his don't want to come out moment, and he's going to say the 2 words that we haven't heard from Hulk all the way through this particular universe as he does a Hulk smash on Thanos and flattens him.
So you think, I was actually going to ask you this, you think Hulk is going to deliver the final blow?
Yeah, I do.
For some reason, I don't think, like, I don't know, I think Thanos may not die. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I would agree, apart from Marvel's track record is, we have a great villain, kill him.
Very, very true. Very true. Obviously, if they kill Thanos, they can work on different storylines then in the future, coming into Phase 4. I don't know. It could be very interesting. I mean, like I said, I think this next movie is going to be a whole lot more emotional, considering if you are a viewer since the beginning of the Marvel Universe, like, and you watch this movie, like, if they do the things that I think they potentially might do, like, I'm going to break down, I'm going to cry, I'm going to call in sick from work and everything. I'm going to be so bad. I know that for a fact. But my God, I don't know. I mean, like I said, they can go any route with this for the next movie. But like, all in all, like, if I was to talk about Infinity War myself, I actually really enjoyed the movie. I can see why there is people that didn't really like the movie. They say things like it's been rushed or whatever. But like, you have to kind of consider, if they didn't rush scenes, if they didn't keep the pace fast for this movie, the movie would be about 4.5 hours long. Because there's so many characters involved, there's so many people involved, there's so many different things going on at the same time. Of course, the Russo brothers had to go to an approach of doing separate scenes and different things happening in different scenes, not comprise all of them together, which a lot of people were, you know, expecting. Like, I, for one, was kind of expecting a superhero lineup of every single one of them together. That was something that I was kind of looking forward to, but we didn't get that. Which, you know, I get, because could you imagine having a scene with every single character involved? I mean, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe it is, but it mightn't work at the same time. So you can see why the movie is fast-paced. So when people say, oh, the movie was rushed, you know, they could have done more of this, or they could have given this character more screen time, like. But, like, so the main characters in this movie, like the likes of Captain America, only got something like 11 minutes in the entire movie screen time, which is very little for an A-list actor like Chris Evans, like, in fairness. But the likes of Iron Man, of course, was kind of the story holder. He was kind of the main person in this movie, I felt. Alongside, of course, Thanos being the one trying to find all the Infinity Stones and stuff like that.
That's kind of the thing, isn't it? I actually think Thanos is the main character in this film.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you spend way more time with him than anyone else.
Yeah, that's very true. And like the majority of the film is Thanos. He starts the film, he ends the film, he's in the middle of the film, he's causing havoc between two separate parties of heroes in the film. Obviously, this is Thanos' movie. Like, they could have just called the movie Thanos, in fairness. Like, well,
they even play with expectation, right? At the end, where they normally do that, the Avengers will return. They don't do that, do they? They say Thanos will return.
Very true, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was quite interesting as well. Usually it's that the Avengers will return, but they're not really Avengers right now. They're just kind of a broken team of superhumans.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
So the Avengers will probably, like you said, avenge in the next film, but there could be a lot of major losses in the next film as well.
Sorry, just Kevin just asked, how would you introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU? My answer to that, because this ties into something that we were talking about before the stream, is I wouldn't introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU right now. I would leave it to cool off a bit. I do think that they should be joined. What I would actually prefer is that after the dust has settled with Thanos, the villain I want to replace Thanos as the next one that they would build up to over a series of films, including introducing the Fantastic Four into the MCU, is Doctor Doom.
I highly agree with you, because Doctor Doom is one of the most iconic Marvel villains of all time, and he would be a perfect villain to be, I don't know,
to follow between through from Thanos.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, his power level is ridiculous. Like, he is more than a match for any of the characters if they go full, like, past his origin story, which is all we've ever gotten in the cinemas. Like, you know, his list of abilities and his list of things that he's accomplished is nuts. How he hasn't, you know, won is ridiculous. And then, of course, you think, oh, actually, no, he did win twice. And both times it was his choice to basically give the Earth back to the good guys. He's like, nah, ruling it's boring.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Victor Von Doom is a really, really cool character, and I really hope they do introduce him into the series. He's fantastic.
And he like Thanos, he could be one of those characters that, like you said, you can actually give screen time to, and people would enjoy it. His character is there's so much there to work with.
Of course, yeah, of course. Okay, so before we get into anything else, I just want to do some shout-outs in the comments. I don't want to ignore people. Yeah. So, obviously, Brittany Williams, thank you for that $5 donation. That is so awesome. Justin Brummett is here, long-time supporter. Silver Dude, you've been popping up a lot recently. Thank you. Joshua N.A. is here. Sup, dude. Spectrum of Spectres is still here. What up, dude? Bradley Briggs is here as well. Senpai Sama. Cool name. Abdo, what's up? Who else you got? Tom Thomas is here, Zanti Lopez, Justin Brummett, Ben Anderson, S Slayer, Kelsey Cousins, Blazer Anims, Dark Fire, Almighty Godspeed, that's a badass name as well. Richard Cora Kenobi, fellow YouTuber, is here. What's up, bro? And Sean Meister, what's up? Typical Kid, what's up? So thank you everybody for joining the stream. If you only just tuned in, we're currently talking about Infinity War, so spoiler warning. We've kind of discussed a lot of it already, but we're going into some more stuff. So thank you. This is going to be an all-out Geekcast. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. Movies, TV shows, whatever. Anyway, yeah, what were we saying? Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
Yes, so really, really cool character, and I think that would be a... Like, who do you think would be involved as well with the Fantastic Four? Like, it's not just going to be... Like, do you want them to do another standalone Fantastic Four movie?
I actually would like that because I didn't want that originally. However, seeing what Marvel being involved did for Spider-Man, I'm like, please just come and fix Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean,
They've tried so many times, and I liked the original Fantastic Four attempt at the time it was made because there wasn't that much to compare it to. Now trying to rewatch that, I can't.
no, I agree with you. Like when those films came out first, you know, obviously the Marvel scene wasn't on a massive pedestal that it is now, but back then it was enjoyable. The characters were more accurate than the ones that they released in that god awful movie that came out recently. But
yeah, let's pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, let's just not go there. But the characters were a lot more accurate to the characters that we know from the animated series, from the comics. And that's why I liked it. Even the actors portraying the characters were very similar to their counterparts as well in the comics. So I actually enjoyed that. But obviously going back and watching it now, you're like, yeah, this movie's kind of shit. But it's still good to go back and say, look, this was made back then. So, you know. So
Did you,
I
sorry.
agree with you too. I think if they'd done another movie, I think Marvel, like Disney, they'll do it right, you know.
Did you hear, by the way, that sorry, we're changing films slightly, but it all makes sense because I won't remember it otherwise. But did you actually hear that Chris Evans was actually supposed to be in, or he was asked to be in Deadpool 2 to play Johnny Storm in the interviews for X-Force to be like a little cameo?
I did not know that. I think that would have been batshit crazy if they'd done that.
Ryan Reynolds was talking about it on an interview, and he said like the idea is that I would be calling him Johnny Storm, and he would be Captain America, and then like every time the camera turned, like when I finally got it into my head he was Captain America, all of a sudden he would say "flame on" and go back into the Johnny Storm character and be really cocky and be like, "No, I'm just messing with you, dude. Who the fuck would want to be Captain America?" I mean, and that would be it, you know.
That would have been amazing.
I think that would have been awesome. They need to do a director's cut and put that in it.
Apparently they are doing a director's cut.
Well, they need to put that in it.
Yeah.
Because I will watch that shit. Oh man, that sounds incredible. Okay, so yeah, Fantastic Four, that needs to happen. Okay, so do you like currently? Obviously, Disney are trying to get the rights to these characters from Fox. They're working on it, but there's a third party involved right now. I can't remember their name. Do you know their name? I forgot.
I do not.
But right now I'm not going to say winning because it's Disney, but they've got the highest bid or something right now for these characters. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this excludes these characters from Disney and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So obviously Disney will strike a deal no matter what to get these characters, because you know they're working on it. They want these characters. They want these characters brought in and brought to the big screen, right? So if we were to talk about X-Men coming into it, how would you like that to be coming into the series, into the cinematic universe?
I would actually not want another X-Men film. I would. It's a difficult one. I would recast them all, have a full reboot, but I wouldn't actually want them to get their own film. I think you should pick a few, not Wolverine, like maybe Cyclops, Storm, a couple of other more modern ones maybe, and carry them on as they are. I actually think the best way, because it would also, because it's gonna, I know you're gonna ask me in a minute how this question. I actually think the easiest way would be to use Deadpool as the conduit between the X-Men universe and the MCU universe, because they've already introduced Cable, who can do time travel. Deadpool knows that about the other universes that are out there. He's already fudged around with Cable's time travel device to break his own timeline in his films. So there is absolutely no reason why in the middle of any Marvel film that all of a sudden, halfway through the film, a Terminator 2 style portal couldn't simply open and Cable and Deadpool rock up and be like, "What the hell did you just do? And where the hell are we?" Like,
you see,
I don't know.
I was actually going to bring that into the equation. And I'm glad you brought it up, because obviously, like my friends, they're all like, "Oh, now they have to bring Deadpool in it." And I'm like, yeah, they can do that, but it's a lot more complicated than you think to do
Yeah.
such a thing. But like you said, since Deadpool 2, they've introduced a lot of things which could lead to openings of potentially crossing over universes, which is very, very likely, because Deadpool now possesses the power to be in the real world to kill the actor that portrays himself.
Yeah. It's the thing, like, Deadpool is the easiest character to just introduce and keep all of his backstory, and he can even talk about it. He could literally go up to the other people of the Avengers, like, seriously? You don't have any clue who Wolverine is? Like, he's the guy. Everybody knows who Wolverine is, and you can they'll be like, who the fuck is Wolverine?
You see, yeah, that's what I mean. That's kind of the beauty of Deadpool's character. I think that would have been, I don't know. I'd love to see Deadpool in it, but just I don't know when they're going to do it. If they do it, like I said, if Disney do get the rights to these characters, they can go all out. Like they can go all out. You know, I don't know. Interesting.
But
The thing is, but like because of, I think I am diversing here from where you guys have been talking about. But I think the second I saw Cable, I actually figured the ending of Deadpool. I mean, not immediately, just like when Deadpool felt like he was dying. I thought to myself, well, Cable can just, you know, use his second charge, go back in time, and don't hit like Deadpool where he should die. And I was like, seen that coming. They could have done that a lot better. I feel like I don't know how, but I feel like they could have done it better.
In unpopular opinion here, that tagline of "they could have done it better" actually applies to my opinion of the Deadpool films in general.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of things that they could do better in the Deadpool movies, but like, you see, I'm like, when it comes to those movies, like, why would you care? I mean, literally, Deadpool is, he can do whatever he wants in the movie, literally whatever he wants. So if there's something not right with the movie, it was intentional, and why would you care about it?
Yeah, that's true. I can be put into perspective.
But like, Deadpool overall, Frostex, did you like Deadpool 2?
Yeah, I love Deadpool 2. Like for a bit before I watched Infinity Wars, I was like, no movie can top this. I was like, oh my god, this thing was done really well. I liked it more than Deadpool 1, which I was really surprised because
a lot of people have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I usually don't end up. I never like think that the sequel would be better than the first movie, but for this one, it was so good. Trust me, it was the best like Deadpool movie yet.
And can I ask you, has anybody asked you which do you think was better, Avengers: Infinity War or Deadpool 2? Has anybody asked?
Yeah, Scott did.
I don't understand that question. Because to me, I said this to Scott last night. I said, to me, you can't compare these two movies.
Yeah, they're different genres.
Completely different movies. I know they come from the same source material, but they're different movies, different tones, different everything. You know, they all have different purposes. And that's why when somebody asks me that, it says you can't actually ask me that question, because they're both extremely good movies in their own rights. You can't actually compare them as which is better, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think of Deadpool 2, Scott?
I love Deadpool 2. As a standalone film, it was great. I thought it was brilliant. It was better than Deadpool 1 in inverted commas, because I really like Deadpool 1. But I just thought that they nailed it in terms of making a story that you still cared about, and surprisingly, they packed it full of several surprises that I didn't see coming. And more importantly, they did the impossible task of actually making a lot of people like Cable. Like, I've always liked Cable. And I thought Josh Brolin was a brilliant pick. I mean, it's funny because he's not actually tall enough to play Cable, but Hugh Jackman is way too tall to play Wolverine, and I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I love Josh Brolin as Cable. So maybe we can all just agree that height isn't something we have to worry about anymore.
I don't think so. I really just don't think it matters. If you
I know.
act the part, it's fine. Like,
you know, it made me laugh because I didn't. At that final shot in Deadpool 2 where they all walk away in a line, it's only then that you realize just how small Josh Brolin is compared to everyone else. Like in the comics, Cable towers over everyone, including Colossus, and he is literally like looking up at Domino. I couldn't help but laugh in that sequence. I'm like, oh, okay. But anyway, yes, Deadpool 2 was good. I thought that the wow, what's his name? Fire Fist or whatever his silly name was really cool. I'm curious though, did you pick up on the name of the school that he went to and what the connection is to another Marvel character, or specifically another Marvel villain?
No.
I actually forgot the school.
Yeah, same.
Now, don't get me wrong, I can't tell you what the name of the school is now, but I know that the name of the school is a link to Mr. Sinister.
Ah, so do you think that was intentional then?
Yes. I very much think that Mr. Sinister will be, if there's a Deadpool 3 or in the X-Force film, I think he'll be the next villain and a proper villain, because Deadpool hasn't really had a proper villain yet.
Not really, no.
Like, he does have a history of going up against Mr. Sinister. So I think that's probably what they're leading towards.
Okay. All right, so speaking of Deadpool 2, did you guys find it interesting that Stan Lee didn't get a cameo?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Anybody know the reason why?
Nope.
Not a clue.
He apparently is annoyed about it or something. I saw an article saying that he doesn't know either. Because, like, he did, if you remember, he did do a cameo for that, like, promotional short that went up where he was, like, changing in a phone booth. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, that's what I said. I was like, well, I suppose technically he did get a cameo, but he didn't in the movie.
Yeah.
No, his face is painted on a wall, though, apparently, in graffiti art.
I didn't catch
that.
No,
I didn't catch it either, but my partner did. She was like, "Did you just see Stan Lee on the wall then?" And I'm like, "No." So I looked it up afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, apparently that is his cameo in inverted commas."
That is so interesting. I always had this conversation, like, you know, like when it comes to Deadpool being in the Marvel Universe, I said, like, even if you could only get him for a couple of seconds where he makes a cameo somewhere with Stan Lee, the two of them sitting in a living room on the sofa, watching the TV with Avengers Infinity War on. I think that would be the best cameo ever.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Just Deadpool sitting beside Stan Lee and saying, "What are you watching, Stan?" You know, and they're eating popcorn or something, and it's Avengers Infinity War on this TV screen. It would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, something like that, but who knows?
So Justin just said in the chat that Stan doesn't get a cameo in a lot of Fox's films, which is true. He has cameoed in some of Fox's films, but more importantly, he had a fairly memorable cameo in Deadpool 1.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Like, I suspect he enjoyed that cameo very much.
I'm sure he did, yeah. I'm sure he did. That's why, and I think that's probably the main reason why I was like, oh, because I was kind of looking forward to Jesus. I mean, his cameo in the previous movie was something else. Could you imagine this one? But
yeah, exactly.
No
I was thinking that too.
It kind of set a standard to his cameo in the Deadpool movie. So I was like, maybe they're gonna up it every time, but no. Apparently, he's just graffiti now.
Yeah, like it's so sad that they put him in such a non-recognizable or like visible cameo. It's just so sad.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see him though. I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah, no, it's a really weird one. I don't get that at all. However, since B-Geek alluded to it earlier, what about the big well hidden from marketing mutant that turns up at the end of the film? How did that surprise you both?
Yeah. I think it's one of my favorite surprises of any movie, period. Honestly, like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, I assumed that Fire Fist, or whatever his name is, yes, he met a friend on the inside.
Yeah.
Some big dude. But even at that wasn't giving me any clues to who it could have been. Until
when I saw the Juggernaut, I was like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Until out of freaking nowhere, the Juggernaut appears. And I just remember looking at my friends in absolute shock, like a fucking excited 6-year-old girl. And they were like, what are you excited about? I was like, it's fucking Juggernaut!
I know, I was the same. I literally like sat up in my seat, and Jade just sort of looked at me like, what? And I'm like, it's you won't get it, don't worry.
I know, that's what I just said to my friends. He's Juggernaut. He's like one of the most iconic villains from the X-Men. How do you not know who this guy is? And I'm just like, and like how he was done as well. I was very happy how he looked. I just thought it was fantastic, and just like wow, and like Deadpool's reaction to the Juggernaut as well was just icing on the cake.
And the fact that he actually said like accurate comic books as well for Juggernaut's like most well-known / most liked stories was like only Deadpool could do that.
Yeah, only Deadpool could do that. I honestly agree with you.
Speaking of,
yeah, go on.
Sorry,
no, go on.
Just before I forget, like you said that you loved the way he looked, which I did as well. I was like, that's how Deadpool's supposed to look. Cough, Vinnie Jones. But the other thing I really liked is they nailed his voice. But do you two know who voiced him?
Yes, I think I've
Nope,
only recently found out who voiced him.
He was voiced by Ryan Reynolds, as in Deadpool.
No way.
Yeah, he was. I actually was very shocked by that. I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me Ryan Reynolds plays Deadpool and Juggernaut?
Oh,
and Random Pizza Guy #1.
Yeah, that guy too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a little bit of trivia for you there, Frostex. Alright, so you got Big Tiny Tim Tim in the chat. Sup, dude? You got Lumpkin.
I was literally sat there in the cinema because obviously I wondered if there was an after credit sequence. And when the names came up, I was like, who did Juggernaut? He was perfect. And then I saw Ryan Reynolds and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how many people did he play in this film?
I'm just like, wow, Ryan Reynolds, like...
He's talented.
But I tell you what, though, as much as I liked Juggernaut, what I actually liked is what Juggernaut allowed Colossus to do at the end, because I've always liked Colossus, and he's never really been spotlighted in any of the X-Men films, and when I found out he was going to be a character in Deadpool, I really wasn't keen on it, because I felt that that should have been Cable from the word go. But I really liked what they did with him in Deadpool 1, apart from the fact that he was more like the serious comedy relief. Like when he actually tried to fight Angel Dust in the first film, he gets his ass handed to him, and I'm like, I actually think Colossus could have done more there. But in this film, and they were like, oh, he's getting his ass kicked again, and then all of a sudden, you know what? To hell with this! This is how we do it in Mother Russia. And then he just suddenly starts wiping the floor with him, and I was like, this is the Colossus I want to see from now on.
Definitely.
Like,
that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, actually, was that.
Just seeing him
just love how Deadpool just goes, massive CGI scene coming.
Yeah, huge CGI fight coming up.
That was just fantastic.
The four breaks in Deadpool is just so priceless.
Oh, they're next level. They're next level.
I want to know what you two think about, because obviously, if you've seen the trailers, you may have been led to believe that the characters of Bedlam, Shatterstar, and the rest of the X-Force crew, bar Domino, had significant roles to play in this film. What was your reaction when they jumped out of the plane and immediately met their deaths?
Oh,
I was like, oh,
honestly,
shit.
I mean, the majority of the trailers that were released were X-Force, you know? You're like, whoa, okay, so he's actually got a team.
Of them fighting and doing stuff, yes.
Yeah, I know, it's just like, whoa, they're actually going to be a huge role in this movie, can't wait. And they literally die straight away.
Yep.
Oh my god. The thing is, when I saw them die, I was like, well, just one of them, because, you know, that Shutterstock, I don't remember his name, that cocky guy that says, oh, I came from space. Stuff like that. I was like, yeah, he'll probably die, it's fine. And then just everyone else just die after him. I'm like, okay.
And I love how the invisible dude was Brad Pitt. I just said that.
Do you want to know what made me laugh? Is when I watched that and I saw it was Brad Pitt, I was like, that wasn't Brad Pitt. That was like a picture of Brad Pitt that someone's edited in. And then, no, it actually was Brad Pitt. They actually, flew him
played
out
the
there
role,
for
didn't
7 seconds of film.
And it's funny because Deadpool says, I know you're probably really, really handsome and all this. It's just fantastic. And it's just Brad Pitt. Like, wow.
Playing the Vanisher.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, it's funny because I've actually read an interview with the guy who played Shatterstar saying how, like, they were, like, praising him for getting this really big role in a huge film. It's for, like, Asian representation in the superhero market. And he's kind of sat there like, yeah, this is a big role. Yeah, and I'm like, I really didn't
definitely want to
understand
pay for,
it,
like,
and
5
now that
minutes.
I've seen it, it's like, oh, that must have been so awkward.
Oh,
Oh my
man, yeah, definitely. I mean,
And same,
it's funny because they've done a similar thing. I know it's Disney now, but in Thor Ragnarok when Matt Damon was in it, I think that was kind of like
yeah.
wow, okay, what?
that was so yeah. That whole sequence was like everyone in that is like fairly famous. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Sam Neill was like the guy who's playing Odin, and who was the other? Because Matt. Oh, yeah, my brain doesn't want it. Matt Damon was in Deadpool 2 as well.
Was he?
Was
Yes.
I was there. I was a bit sad.
Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk, whose name I always butcher, are both in Deadpool 2. They're both in the same scene with Cable, and you will not recognize them because I didn't. It was only something that came up in again when I was reading the interviews. Would you like to take a stab at who they play?
Who?
No idea.
The two hillbillies when Cable time travels.
No way.
That's Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk.
Oh my God, is it?
What the fuck?
Yeah. I was like,
What?
What? And then I thought about it, and I'm like, actually, yeah, it is. Now that I know that, I can picture them, and I'm like, yes, that was them. And that's why I was sat there through that whole scene going, I even turned to Jade, and I was like, do you recognize them? Because they sound familiar, but I just don't recognize them at all. And obviously they're lagged in makeup. But
I
yeah.
recognized Matt Damon's voice. I was like, is he? But nah, he's not. And I just
I'm actually baffled by that because I'm usually good at faces and actors. I'm like I could see beyond the makeup, but no, not this time. Wow, that's interesting.
I know, like there were so many like random things going on, and one of my favorite bits in the film though has got to be when Deadpool has his massive rant about the fact that there's only 2 X-Men in the mansion again. You think the studio could throw us a frickin' bone and get us someone else, and then the camera pans, and there's the entire cast of X-Men, Dark Phoenix, just sat in the other room, just slowly closing the door.
That was fantastic. I don't care if it was only literally about 2-3 seconds. That was fantastic. I just love how they done that.
The guy who played Quicksilver, he said that he was surprised that was the take they used, and they were like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, we shot so many different versions of what we were doing in that room," and he said that was the tamest of them all. He said some of the stuff that the camera panned to, he said I knew wouldn't make the cut, but I was like, there was a lot more fun things that we were doing instead in that room. And he said he was like, I hope they make it onto the deleted scenes of the home release so you can see the crazy stuff we came up with.
Oh man, I definitely need to watch that when it comes out. Get that when it comes out.
So go on then, what else did you like about Deadpool 2? Any other favorite scenes or anything you didn't like?
I'm going to be quite honest with you. I loved the movie to death. Ask anybody. I was literally dying laughing through start to finish. Fantastic movie. Like, I was even emotionally invested in the story, regardless of how silly Deadpool is. It still kept you in touch of the main story and why he's so, eager to do what he needs to do in the film. And I like that. But yet again, they just throw you off with these crazy surprises, these ridiculous fourth wall breaks, and the fact that he had baby legs. Like, let me
Oh my God.
that scene alone,
I fucking died. I died when I saw that scene. My favorite scene in Deadpool 2 was when he told Colossus that someone escaped from the people that killed Vanessa. And he was like, I'm the asshole that escaped. That actually hit me, even though like Deadpool is like a comedy action film. That doesn't it's not just an action film. But that actually hit me. They did that pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why Deadpool is so popular. Like both films, like people will tell you, like if they saw it in paper form, they'd say that it would never work, which they did say for many, many years, as I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is happy to tell everyone who listen how long it took to get this film to be made. But the truth is when you can get that balance between really heartstring tugging emotional plot points and then straight into black humor, it just works immediately. Like that is a mix that has worked in every film I've ever seen that tries to do that. Almost always is a good film, but the fact that Deadpool can also make it a commercial success because he's Deadpool is just brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, the promotional approach to Deadpool movies are definitely by far my favorite. Like, you've seen any of the trailers, any of the advertisements for Deadpool, they're
Well,
so
didn't they
bloody brilliant.
Didn't they release, like, God knows how they did this, but didn't they release like versions of other Marvel films, but Deadpool had screwed with their covers?
Yeah, they did.
I'm like,
I don't know how
how?
they got away with that either.
I don't. It just blows my mind the amount of stuff that the marketing people have done to get Deadpool out there.
That letter that he wrote to the Russo brothers. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I did. And the video he did with like David Beckham and that.
Yeah, like wow, like only Deadpool.
Yeah.
See, I don't think anybody can replace Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Like, in my honest opinion, he is Deadpool. And the fact that Ryan Reynolds is even mentioned in the Deadpool comics just, you know, sets it in stone. You know?
Right. I mean, it's kind of the same for me, but for the Joker, like, the thing is, like, the Joker is like one of those characters that had multiple people acting for him. And, like, the more actors that come by the Joker, the more I hate him. I'm sorry, it's just me. But, like, it's just like, I don't know. For me, Heath Ledger is the best Joker for me. I don't know. Like,
I think Heath Ledger is a fantastic Joker. I'm not going to say the best Joker. I'm going to say a fantastic Joker because he made the Joker his own. And whilst everybody else was trying to play the Joker as he's supposed to be played.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, Heath Ledger literally took upon himself to, like, make his own realistic, fresh version of the Joker that he done very, very well. And everybody loved
I think because, like, no one expected Heath Ledger to act that way is what made his Joker, like, one of the best. Or, like, iconic, to say the least. Because, like, I never expected, like, Heath Ledger to act that way. Like, he made the Joker seem way more crazed than I thought it was gonna be.
It's true, but Heath Ledger was known for his transitions from different various characters. Like, he's very good at changing into the character, you know?
Yeah.
So there was no surprise of him actually being very good as the Joker. And, like, obviously, when you ask anybody that's watched Batman, whatever, they'll always say, oh, but Heath Ledger's Joker, though. And I honestly agree with them, because Heath Ledger's Joker is one of my favorite all-time Jokers, if not my favorite big-screen Joker, you know? But, like, if we were to talk about my favorite Joker, I think Scott knows who I'm going to say is yours,
that's
Mark
a really
Hamill.
Oh, like, Mark Hamill, yeah,
because, like, I know he doesn't play the Joker on screen as himself, but the voice, I mean, if they can find someone that can pull off that voice and act that way on the big screen, on game.
That voice is amazing.
The frustrating thing is that I genuinely think that Mark Hamill could have pulled it off back when he was doing it, but it just wasn't. Batman wasn't a thing back then in live action. He'd kind of run out his welcome mat, thanks mostly in part to all the ice puns of Batman and Robin.
Yeah, see, this is it. Like he like you said, he could have been. He could have been a contender. Could have been, but now, like, obviously, it's too late.
Oh yeah, like,
I mean,
unless they do a film adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, in which case he totally could do it, because they're all supposed to be old and useless.
Yeah, they could do that, but I don't know. Well, like, okay, so I think we've had our discussion with Marvel. Well, actually, there's one thing I want to talk about when it comes to Marvel first. Obviously, Marvel is a big topic. You kind of can't come off of this thing. But, like, when it comes to certain plot holes in Marvel, like, which one stands out the most to all of you?
Well, plot holes?
That's
across the whole of Marvel?
Yes. There's two I want to talk about. But I want to know if there's any plot holes that you guys may have noticed or may have wondering when they're going to explain that or whatever.
I mean, mine is, like, just recently, Doctor Strange giving out the stone after he said, if it comes to the stone or you two, I'll let you guys die. I just need an explanation to that.
Well, I think the whole thing behind that is, of course, when previously Doctor Strange, he had his vision of 14,700,000 whatever outcomes. He said they win one. And then his dying words were, there was no other way. So I think it's implementing the fact that this was the one
end game now.
Yeah, this was the one way that they could win. I don't know. I could be wrong. What were you gonna say, Scott?
No, I was just trying to think. Like, that's a lot of films. Like, my plot holes, they start when I start thinking about how they try to interconnect them, and not all of the gears line up. Like, my obvious plot hole would be the second you remember that there's a television show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then the plot holes start, becoming more like plot craters. But if we're just talking about the films, there's none that stand out to me right this second, but that's a lot of films.
Yeah, same. I have a lot.
I'm curious to hear what the two of yours are, because I might be like, oh, or I might think, oh yeah. And thanks for reminding me.
I'm gonna bring up a minor one. Well, it's kind of major, but it's also minor as well. Like, if you remember in Thor 1, I think it's near the final scene where Thor and Loki are having their fight. And then Thor destroys the Bifrost.
Oh, yeah.
But then in Thor The Dark World, the Bifrost is back.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Which is, the Bifrost is a big deal. I mean, how is the Bifrost there without any explanation whatsoever? What do you think?
Yeah,
do you just think they just brought the Bifrost back and they said, oh, there's no explanation needed? Or what? I don't know.
I think they just brought it back, no explanation needed. I mean, they do say in Avengers, the first Avengers, that the Bifrost Bridge is still being sorted out by Heimdall. They do kind of give it like a throwaway line, and that he's only able to get to Earth because Odin used his dark magic thing. Like, they try and explain it, and that's why he has to use the cube to get back, the cosmic cube. So I don't really mind that particular issue, and to be completely honest, if my only issue I could remember about Thor: The Dark World was that they fixed the Bifrost Bridge with no explanation, I would be very happy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really want to dwell on Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, well, me too. But another one I want to point out is the fact that I know you probably are familiar with this, but one of the Easter eggs in the earlier movies, of course, is Thor, is when you can see the Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's vault.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to Thor Ragnarok, it's then stated that it's a fake.
Correct.
Okay. But then years, obviously, in the future, the gauntlet becomes real. So, do you think this fake gauntlet, like, what was the purpose of this fake gauntlet in the first place? If it had no initial purpose, and it was Thanos in the future that asked the dwarf to, obviously, forge the gauntlet capable of holding the Infinity Gems. So, why was there a fake gauntlet in Odin's vault in the first place?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I wasn't with you to begin with, but now I do, because you're right. He makes him forge the gauntlet after Asgard has fallen.
Exactly.
So how is there a fake one
that looks exactly the same as the gauntlet years before the gauntlet was forged?
Unless Thanos knew that the gauntlet plans existed, and he isn't the one who, like, he didn't come along and say, make me a weapon. He said, make me a gauntlet, stat. And that the gauntlet, as, or, you know, the design of the gauntlet is something that is known amongst beings of higher power. And that's why Odin has that in his throne room, because he wants it to look like he had the thing built, but he couldn't actually be bothered. I mean, I'm just trying to make shit up as I go along here. I have no answer to that, really.
By the way, sorry, continue. Okay. By the way, guys, I think the way that the Bifrost got repaired, I think I've read this like on Reddit, but I think it's they got the Tesseract and they repaired it. That's like the most basic answer I can like put out. Because I've read this like a while, but I feel like, because in many comics, Thor says, "Oh, we need the Tesseract instead of All-Father's power to resurrect what I destroyed." I still remember that, and I think that came back. Well, that has been said before the Bifrost came back, so I think that's that's an explanation to that.
I don't know.
That's what
I
feel
just
like.
think the gauntlet thing is a huge hole. Like, it's all left to speculation, really.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that is. Yeah,
I
that
think the problem with the gauntlet thing is whoever wrote the after credit sequence of Age of Ultron just plain forgot that there was an Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's throne room. And I think if they hadn't have done that after credit sequence, we would have probably seen Thanos reclaim the gauntlet after Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's the same as I'm annoyed that they don't show you him getting the stone that was on Zambar, and you don't see him wreck Nova Corps, because that was such a big part of the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and that all just happens off screen, and you're just left to assume what happened. And it's been confirmed by the Russo brothers that he did lay waste to that planet, and it's gone. But you just think, but there were so many characters there that we knew, like Glenn Close was the head of the Nova Corps. You had the other Nova Corps that was arresting Star-Lord. That whole planet was like, we have more screen time with that planet than half the other planets that we went to in Infinity War.
Yeah, now it's just wiped clean and it's gone. Which is interesting.
Which with no flashbacks, no nothing. I thought we might see it in flashback, you know, like the Guardians find out that this has happened, but nope, nothing. It never even gets mentioned by anyone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think a lot of things are left to speculation, and you kind of have to use your imagination to fill in the holes. But when it comes to the gauntlet thing, I think, like you said, they forgot, and then in Ragnarok, they were like, okay, let's just pretend it's a fake, and then they realized, oh shit, that's an even bigger plot hole now. We don't know what to do now. Let's just leave.
Yeah. let's just write a good story and hope that people don't notice.
Let's just hope people forget. But obviously, I for one did not forget.
Well, it's one of those things, like when you rewatch films and you suddenly, like with the knowledge of where they go in the future, you think that's not where they were going originally. Like this has got like other paths written here to go in different directions, and then it hasn't gone that way, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the way we meant to go all along, guys.
Yeah. That's interesting. Anyway, thank you everybody that has tuned in or may be leaving now. It might be too late for some of you, so I understand. Thank you for joining the stream. Anybody that's still here and ready to ride out the waves with us, thank you for staying. Thank you for tuning in. I hope we didn't spoil too much on you if you haven't seen the film. If you haven't seen the film, then we did spoil a lot on you, so we do apologize. But it is full of spoilers as we're chatting about everything that is Marvel, DC, you name it. Which comes into our next topic. I think we've got the Marvel gone out of us now. Let's talk about DC.
Oh, this should be much shorter.
Oh, this is going to be a short one.
One
All
thing
right,
I'll say about DC,
yeah, go on.
Batman versus Superman,
Don't go there.
shittiest movie in the entire fucking universe. Okay, continue.
Anyway, yes. Okay, so overall, DC as a franchise, not talking about the movie universe, would you say that you're big fans of DC in general?
Yes.
Yes, in general, yes.
Ditto. I am the same, because I love the DC heroes just as much as the Marvel ones. But now if we talk about the DC cinematic universe, if you want to call it that, what do you guys think of it?
I like to pretend that it doesn't exist. But
that is fair enough.
I keep giving it a chance in the hope that they won't disappoint me, and I'm one of the few people who actually liked Justice League. However, I liked Justice League in as much as I didn't come out of it hating Justice League, therefore gave me the illusion it was much better than it actually was. When I watched it the second time, I was kind of like, I remember liking it more in the cinema. But
I'm gonna say this now because I actually agree with you. My first watch, actually, scratch that. I only watched it once, but I watched it. I'm gonna say, had fun with it. Okay.
Yeah.
It had its moments. It made me laugh sometimes. Some scenes looked fantastic. Okay.
And some scenes looked like they were filmed on a college school budget.
Yeah, now you said it. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say it was the worst movie, but for what it's supposed to be, it's nowhere near what it should have been.
No. And it didn't have the right roster of heroes for me. And they didn't have... This is the problem. Like, again, we said this before. Like, they are running to try and be where Marvel is now, like, straight away.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is I actually think that they could have just done a Justice League film if that's what they wanted to do, and make a Justice League origin story, but not have to have origins for every character within the origin story. Like, there's a... have you ever seen any YouTube videos by It's Just Some Random Guy? He used to do tons of videos, but now he only does one every now and then, where he compares Marvel and DC with, like, action figures.
No, he sounds familiar, but I don't think I have.
There's a video where he is talking about the DC EU, and he says something that I think the writers over there really struggle with, which is that not every character in DC comes from Gotham City, and that is a problem that they seem to have. Like, everyone must be dark or depressed or have anger issues or have something wrong with them that makes them fit in with the Batman, and that doesn't work.
I know, it's like they set a tone and they have to stick to it or something for some reason.
Yeah, like, if every Avenger had the same tone, we would be not that interested in them either. Like, Wonder Woman, they kind of tried to fix her, but then I felt like they were just recycling old content. Like, she never mentioned in Batman v Superman anything to do with the pilot whose name escapes me. Steve.
Chris Pine.
Yeah. Chris. Is it Pine? Yeah, it is.
Pine.
I thought it was. Yeah. And after the Wonder Woman film, suddenly she was like still dealing with that. Like, that had just happened. And it was like, no, it happened just recently for us, the audience. For her, it was like 100 years ago. You know? And it just felt really forced. And the same with the best part about Justice League for me was Superman. And I know lots of people didn't like the fact that he had a CGI upper lip, but that really didn't. I didn't even really notice that. I was too distracted by the awful green screens that the characters were stood in front of to notice someone's lip. But that's another.
God, tell me about it.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that noticed that.
No.
But like, I was happy with the way that they tried to redeem Superman, and regardless of what I thought about the actual film itself, I will happily admit, when I was sat in the cinema, me and several other people clearly leapt out of their seats when Steppenwolf has kicked all the other league's ass, and then he shows up and says, "You know, I used to believe in justice. Was a pretty big fan of truth as well," and then all of a sudden the old 1980s theme song suddenly deafens you, as in one punch he sends Steppenwolf flying through the wall, and it's like, there we go. Superman really ain't hard to get right, guys.
I know, yeah. Finally.
It's taken you like 3 films. What we got there? Now all you need to do is fix every other character, if you can hold on to their actors long enough.
Alright, before we go into this any further, shout-outs. Alien Noxy is actually my friend Chris. You may have seen him in my vlog. What's up, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's here. He's in the chat. He only watched Guardians of the Galaxy yesterday. Wow, dude. He really, like, when we were over at Comic-Con, he was watching all the Thor movies because he hasn't seen them. And I was just like, dude.
Oh, I'm so depressed that I wasn't there to join you guys.
I know, dude. If you definitely next year, you're part of the crew. I don't care. You're coming. We're doing this. But yeah, no, because we seen an Infinity War, and we were like, I was like, man, what do you think? Oh, so good, but I didn't get this, and I didn't get that. I was like, well, did you not see Thor? He said, I didn't see any of the Thor movies. And I'm like, oh my god, why are you my friend? And I made him watch all 3, and he watched them all, and now he's only watched Guardians of the Galaxy there recently as well. So that's, I'm like, dude, you need some serious catching up to do. But Golden Freeze's here, Disc 7, what's up? What's up, everybody in the chat? Sorry, it doesn't seem like I'm reading your comments, but I am. And thank you, Scott, for replying to some people in the comments.
It's fine. I'm a streamer. I can't not read the chat and not reply. Like, I'd be reading like every comment out loud if it was my stream, so I'm just used to it.
Alien Noxy says Batman vs Superman, 10 out of 10, top notch. Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right, dude. Just bear in mind, Alien Noxy is a little bit of a DC fanboy, so he won't even admit if it's trash. He'll just say it's good.
I love DC, but that movie.
Golden Freezer asks us, what is our favorite DC movie? And it doesn't have to be one from the current DC universe. Like, in general, what's your favorite DC film? I've got a funny feeling that all our answers will be the same, but you two first.
Oh, okay.
I think The Dark Knight.
I was just about to say The Dark Knight.
Yep, I knew it would be The Dark Knight. It's everyone's favorite DC. But I actually do really like the original Batman film with Michael Keaton. I do think that and The Dark Knight Returns, they both have... no, it's not The Dark Knight Returns. Yes, this is The Dark Knight Returns. They both have epic music, really good story. Yes, it's not aged terribly well, but I think they nailed the look of the comics for their time. Like, you go back and watch them, you know every character, you know that that's what it used to look like in the comic books at the time, and I think they did a great job. I also really like the first Superman film, and yes, the effects aren't as good as they were the first time around, but as a kid watching Superman for the first time, you don't care about effects, you just see Superman. And as much as I like The Dark Knight, and it is my favorite film, like, if I was to put The Dark Knight and Superman to, like, a kid, I've got a funny feeling that even now Superman would win.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like, obviously, when it comes to, like, nostalgic reasons, like, obviously, yeah, I get you, because I was obviously a kid when I watched the first Superman movie as well. I thought it was, like, freaking amazing, like Superman or whatever. And then, like, of course, the Michael Keaton Batmans, they were great as well. Like, I liked all the Batman movies, and I know a lot of them got a lot of hate or whatever.
All of them?
Well, not all of them, but I liked them as a kid. You know, they were like, "Oh, another Batman film," because obviously, as a kid, you enjoy the things a lot more, and you don't really see the problems with them. Obviously, until you're older, and then you know.
No, I know. I feel so sorry for the fact that my dad had to endure me actually liking Batman and Robin and watching it several times. Admittedly, that was because I really liked Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that was half the reason.
Same.
But still,
I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time, and the fact that he was playing the villain, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
The chillin' villain.
The chillin'. Oh, really, Scott? Really, dude? Really?
Chillin' villain.
With these freezy puns.
Oh my god, I'm gonna actually leave.
I mean, when you look at that cast on paper, you've got George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, the guy who plays Robin, whose name escapes me, was fairly famous as well, and obviously the same Alfred from all the other films. On paper, that film should have worked. How the hell did how did that get made?
I don't know. Charles House asked, "Stevie Geek, in your opinion, what superhero needs more work, movie-wise?" The entire DC universe.
Yes.
Let me see. If I was to bring it back to Marvel. I don't know. I liked all of the Marvel movies. Well, not all of them, but, like, respectively, they've done a lot of the characters, if not all of them, justice. I don't know. Like, obviously, if you talk about DC, the entire DC universe.
You know what I would like them to do? Don't get me wrong. I still want them to try and get the core crew up and running. But Marvel didn't actually pick one of their big characters to be their introduction to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, Iron Man was a very important to the comic book world, but he wasn't a mainstream name. I loved Iron Man. When I found out they were making an Iron Man film, I exploded.
So did I, dude.
Because I never thought they would make an Iron Man film.
Dude,
but
I watched the animated series. I loved that
shit.
Yeah.
I watched the animated series. I played X-Men Legends 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and Iron Man was always one of my characters. And obviously he crossed over with Spider-Man, the animated series, and it was great. But if I was to ask any of my friends about Iron Man, they'd look at me very blankly. And, you know, he is a huge character now, but he wasn't before 2008. Yes, he was an Avenger, but the Avengers themselves, whilst they were popular, they were not the juggernauts of industry that they are now. They weren't Marvel's version of the Justice League. That was the X-Men.
Yeah, and funny how you should say that, because I remember I watched Iron Man the day of release, because, as you said, Scott, when I found out, I freaked out. I watched it, I brought my little brother to go see it, went to the day of release sat in the cinema, and there's no joke, there was at least, I said the very most, 15 people in the cinema.
Yeah, same. It was exactly how I expected it to be. About half whole. Not that much there.
Yeah, absolutely nobody. I say the people that were there were the only ones that knew who Iron Man was. People had absolutely no interest. But now you look at Infinity War, and there's queues. There's 5 different screenings, and even at that, it's sold out worldwide. It's making billions all over the world. Like, it's crazy.
The reason why I bring that up is I think DC needs to do that. They need to find a character, and I have several in mind, but they need to find a character, marry him or her with an actor who can play him like Robert Downey Jr. is just perfect to play Tony Stark. They need to find a character that people don't know, that hasn't got all of this weight of expectations, all of these people who will want to get involved to try and make it work. Like, no one cared about Iron Man at the end of the day, and Iron Man 1 is still my favorite of the 3 Iron Man films, and it's still a really good film.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think that what DC needs is to pick a lesser known character and make them a big character by giving them the spotlight. Like, leave Batman and Superman alone for a while. We know their stories. We can only take so much.
We see, that's the thing about Warner Brothers, okay? They're trying to just aim high straight away. Let's go with a character that everybody knows. That way we're guaranteed big bucks. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's basically the approach of getting Batman, Superman. Everybody that, not even a superhero fan, knows who these characters are. They're implemented everywhere. So Warner Brothers just say, look, we can spend this amount of money, but we'll make guaranteed this amount of money just because it's Batman. But see, that's the problem they have. They're trying to do this with these big characters. So when you say use a lesser known character that people don't know about, that doesn't have the burden of having such a popularity, I guarantee you they won't do that because it's freaking Warner Brothers.
Oh, I didn't say they would do that. I said they should do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. They should do that. But they won't.
Because you obviously, I know you watched them as well, because we seem to have watched exactly the same things growing up. But Justice League animated series.
Yeah.
When they went to the Unlimited and they brought in all these other characters, The Question and Huntress seemed to unanimously be everybody's favorite characters. And I would, given that The Question is essentially a friendlier version of Rorschach, who is pretty much everybody's favorite character from The Watchmen, I would love to see a film starring The Question and make it absolutely crazy and wacky. You could tap into some of that Deadpool money by giving it a much more mature rating, and you could have such a different superhero film that Marvel hasn't tried to do yet. It's really going in on the detective aspect of being a hero. Like, he is like Batman in that he doesn't have any powers, but he's really not Batman in that he isn't the best at everything. He has actual flaws. You can give him all of these issues that they want to pile onto Batman. They can do all of the things that they want to do with characters like Batman, but it just not be bloody Batman.
Yeah. No, yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. I mean,
I think, like...
speaking of... Sorry, go on.
No, you go, dude, you go.
I was gonna like quote you on like I love all Marvel 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 movies. I couldn't say it. And you withdraw and you said not all of them. One Marvel movie in particular that I didn't like was Ghost Rider, and a lot of people don't know why I hated it, because I don't know. A lot of people that I talk to is like, "Oh, Ghost Rider is the best." I'm like,
to be honest, I haven't heard from anybody saying that Ghost Rider was good.
Trust me, I had a lot of people come to me and be like,
I enjoyed what it was when it came out, because back then Marvel wasn't as big as it was, you know.
Yes.
And the fact that they got Nicolas Cage, I was like, you know, I grew up watching Nicolas Cage, so I was like, I was okay with it, you know. But like, looking back at it now, I'm like, I'm not too sure.
When Ghost Rider was announced, I pretty much had the same reaction that I did to Iron Man, because I really like Ghost Rider because of video games more than comics or animated series, and I just love his design. He's essentially clearly what Scorpion was based on from Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, his design is great.
And I thought that seeing him in live action would be really cool, but I actually think that Like, it's funny because I remember thinking that Ghost Rider can't work with the age rating it was given, and then they made the sequel and they gave it then a higher age rating, and it just made it worse. So
The sequel is just bad.
The sequel was just I was so excited for the sequel because I thought it looks like the trailers made it look good, which is obviously what trailers are for. But when I watched it, I was like, I've been lied to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I agree with what Frostex was saying. Like, yeah, Ghost Rider. I enjoyed it at the time, but no, it's not one I've ever thought to myself, I'm gonna watch Ghost Rider tonight because I've got the time.
Yeah, it's because I
Daredevil wasn't pretty good as well.
Wait.
Sorry, what was that?
What was that? Did you say Daredevil was pretty good?
You mean?
No.
Please tell me you're talking about the Netflix series.
No, I said it was pretty bad.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God for that. It's got immediately. Wait, what? What? Did you really just say?
Watch the chat explode.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! That is that's kind of like the lowest of the low when you come to talking about movies that are based on comics.
I just want to read some things from the chat, or at least respond to them. So Ghost Trooper says Nightwing would be a good one. I completely agree. Huge fan of Nightwing. There's a stack of Nightwing comics on my bookshelf in the other room. I endorse the idea of making a Nightwing film or series. Secondly, Shazam should have started off the DCEU from the beginning. Love the idea of making a Shazam film. Just hate the fact he's not called Captain Marvel anymore. And finally, you're still waiting for the next season of Young Justice from Victor Cutts. Yes, so am I. Young Justice is amazing.
Yeah. Yes, Nightwing definitely on that bandwagon. For sure. Nightwing is definitely one of those characters that are like, okay, not everybody knows who Nightwing is, but you know they'll immediately like his character.
Yes.
I don't know. You think they would have done that by now? I mean, there's a fan series of Nightwing, and it's very good.
Oh, yes, it's really good. I've seen that.
It's very good.
The thing is they were gonna do Nightwing. Like, I remember, like, it was heavily stated that they were going to have Nightwing in the Justice League, and because the Robin suit that's in Batman v Superman, they've pretty much said that is Jason Todd. It's not Dick Grayson. So that means that Dick Grayson must be out there somewhere in the current DCEU, but they seem to, like, not do it in the end. I don't know why. I don't really care after seeing what they did to all the other characters. I'm sure they'd find a way to depress Nightwing as well.
Yeah, you know, like, when it comes to the DC universe, I'm just not, like, unless they just wipe everything clean and start all over. As much as it pains me to say start all over again, it's the only way they can do it. And hire new people that actually know what the fuck they're doing.
Do you know what's funny? Is my well, apart from the Superman punch scene, the only other scene in the whole of the Justice League that got me excited was its after credits scene. And that's because I was so hyped to finally see an accurate and good looking live action Deathstroke.
Yeah, true. Very, very cool looking Deathstroke. I admit.
Despite the fact I don't really like his portrayal of Lex Luthor, his line of, I think we need a league of our own, I just thought that was great. I'm like, please, yes, go full into the cheesy acting. I much prefer that than whatever the hell you were trying to do in Batman v Superman. Let's just make our villains actual comic book villains. Let's stop trying to make them, like, nuanced, psychologically damaged characters.
Speaking of Lex Luthor, what's your opinions on Lex Luthor in Batman vs Superman?
I'm just hearing this.
I feel like the general direction with which he took that approach to the character did not fit necessarily with the version that I had in my head of how I would like to have seen Lex Luthor portrayed. Is that nice enough?
That's that's nice enough. That's the most calmest way you could put it, I guess.
Yes. The worst part is that I remember when Lex Luthor, Lex Luthor's going to be in the film. Excellent. Who's going to play him? And everyone said it should be, oh God, my brain does not want to bring me actors' names tonight. Breaking Bad, man.
Oh yes, Bryan Cranston.
Thank you.
Because obviously they said
Zordon.
it in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and like as soon as I heard that, I was like, sold. That's gonna work
Immediately. And I heard that news when that was kind of somewhat rumored. I was like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. But no, it didn't.
And then they announced it was the guy from Social Network, and I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I read the description, I was like, oh, okay, so nothing like what he has been before. But I could see that working. Like, it's not how that isn't. I don't think that you can blame that one on the writers. Like, they don't get me wrong, they fucked up enough in that film, but Lex Luthor wasn't one of them. I'm solely blaming that one on the way he chose to portray the character. I don't know what was going through his head, but I didn't like it.
Let's be honest, he didn't have the persona of Lex Luthor in that movie. Like,
no.
if I was to put him as a bad guy of how we act, I would say Riddler. Because a completely different villain, but definitely not Lex Luthor. No. No.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Brain, come on, you can do this.
You can do it, Brain.
It's like they struggled so much that why can't I suddenly hear myself? Frostex, is that you?
Is that you, Frostex?
What? What am I doing?
I can hear an echo of myself from one of you two.
It's not me anyway.
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's. Hold on.
Somebody is echoing.
Yeah. So basically, oh, that's better. It's gone now. Thank you.
That's not for me.
Yeah, like they tried to get out of it by saying that he wasn't actually playing Lex Luthor, that he's playing Alexander Luthor, which is Lex Luthor's son, not Lionel Luthor's son. And then they backtracked on that after everyone was like, well, that makes even less sense because that means that the dad that he's always going on about is actually the Lex Luthor that we think that he is, and other characters don't seem to have. And they were like, what? And then they were like, no, he is just Lex Luthor. We were trying to be clever. Never mind.
Oh,
I was like, if you can't even make up your mind whether he is or isn't Lex Luthor, and you're the writers.
Wow. Richard Korokanovi says Nightwing will have his own film made by the director of the Lego Batman film, and he'll be in the live-action Titan show coming this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. My excitement for that has kind of diminished after I saw the set photos.
Yeah.
I don't. And don't get me wrong. I'm not going to judge it because, like, it could still be really good, but I don't know. Like, the only good thing I've seen of that is the first promo shot of what Robin's gonna look like, and I was like, okay, that looks good. But the only thing that keeps running through my head is Marvel's Inhumans. Like, I'm getting a very much an Inhumans vibe from Titan.
Mm.
Victor Kotz says, "What is your opinion on Gotham?"
I think it started off as a really good idea that's gone vastly down the rabbit hole very quickly, and I stopped watching it a long time ago.
It's so weird. That's exactly how I feel about it.
I
watched the first season, and halfway through the second season, completely lost interest.
Yep.
I think that they didn't really. It reminds me of Smallville, and but the problem is, it reminds me of Smallville for all the things that Smallville did wrong. I.e., they run out of ways to actually make the show be about the time before he was Superman, so they just decided to start doing Superman stories, but just not have him wear the Superman costume. And yeah. Gotham feels the same. It's like you're trying to. In fact, Gotham is a great analogy for CEU. They're trying to run before they can walk. Like, you cannot introduce Joker until Batman exists. Joker only exists because of Batman. The second they tried to do that,
exactly,
I immediately lost interest. The idea of the Penguin, of the Riddler, of the big crime bosses like Falcone and Maroni, all of that I was on board with. I loved that, and I loved the idea of young Jim Gordon and a young kick-ass Alfred, well, youngish, and seeing, you know, Bruce Wayne develop as a kid. But they seemed to only do that for, like, the first few episodes, and then they were like, right, now, in come the Batman villains. And I'm like,
yeah.
but it's like, you know, we need to see a city that just has regular crime. Yeah, by all means, fill it with weirdos. Fill it with things that you wouldn't expect to see. Bring in people like Mr. Zsasz. I thought Mr. Zsasz was brilliant as the lead enforcer for Falcone. And Falcone himself was bloody terrifying. All he had to do was sit there in a suit, and all of these other people around him were terrified of him, but they just didn't seem to know where to go with it, and then they just took it in this weird direction.
Yeah, because it's freaking Warner Brothers stuff.
Do I watch the CWDC shows? Please see previous discussion on Gotham, and same thing applies to them.
I did like them. I actually watched them for a while. I watched Arrow first. I think everybody does. Arrow was good until I got to a certain... Arrow.
Arrow's first season was great, and then after that it fell apart. Yeah. Oh, watch the first season; it's great. But after that, I would just advise to not bother.
Yeah, I actually watched it for like 4 seasons.
I watched it for...
We got a $5 donation from Luca Blight69. Get Streamlads. No fun donating when YouTube takes such a large share of $5. Anywho, cheers. I don't even know how much YouTube takes, to be honest. They don't really specify that, but thank you for the donation and the advice, dude.
Just before we go back to that topic, Jacob Diaz, I completely agree. I want a Dr. Fate film.
Oh my god, please.
Dr. Fate is a great character, and
I swear, oh my god, that would actually rock. Like, I think a lot of people share the same opinion as you. I myself share the same opinion as you. I would love a Dr. Fate movie. Oh my god, please.
Oh, also, Kevin Dion, Alfred is the son of the Doctor, though. I actually get that reference, and yes, I do love some Sean Pertwee, and yes, I enjoyed his father as well. So thank you very much for that reference.
Yeah. So DC, yeah, it's a lost cause.
You know the problem for me is they wouldn't let Arrow, Flash, and God knows how many other shows they have now touch Batman and Superman for so long that Arrow began to lose me. Sorry, Frostex, I know you haven't seen this, but if this doesn't make you not want to watch it, then by all means watch it. They gave Green Arrow the storyline of the League of Shadows that Batman has, where Ra's al Ghul decides that actually it's Green Arrow who should be the rightful successor, and they literally do the entire storyline of the Demon's Head, but they just change Batman for Arrow. And there's nothing else changed. There's no differences, and that just didn't work for me in any way, shape, or form. They just literally made Arrow into Batman at that point, and he's never really changed back to Arrow. Same as they've never correctly made Black Canary. I mean, I stopped watching it before I found out that the character had been killed off, and like, what? But how can you kill her and still have... I don't even want to go back to it anymore.
As Deadpool would say, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I love that. I love that.
But yeah, so the DC TV show's good at first. The Flash came in, was refreshing, was good as well at first, but then lost interest.
Oh, yeah. I would have kept watching The Flash, but the problem is that they made it impossible, at least for me, to want to keep watching just one of the shows because they kept constantly doing crossover stories. And they became more and more elaborate.
Yeah, that is the case. It's kind of like, okay, they're doing a crossover, but now does this mean I have to go back and watch Arrow? And I'm like, I really don't want to. You know,
so
Flash for me was the show that I watched continuously for a while. I just completely ignored the other shows, but then it just got to the point where it was just like, this is just going on a continuous loop. You know, I was just like, nah, I have enough now.
Victor Cut says that they did that because they didn't have the legal rights for Batman, and I know they didn't. They tried real hard to get him because they wanted Bruce Wayne on the show to be a rival for Oliver Queen, and then I think they basically gave that role to Ray Palmer to be the Atom. But that's the point. This is exactly what we were saying about the films. They have so many other characters to fill these roles. They don't need to make Oliver Queen another version of Batman, but with bows and arrows instead of batarangs. He is his own character in his own right, and he's interesting enough that I didn't tune into Arrow to watch a Arrow impersonation of Batman, you know? He has his own rogues gallery. He has his own selection of stories to pull from. He's just as old, well, not just as old, but he's nearly as old as Batman is in comic years, you know?
Yeah.
Thing is with me with DC movies, like, well, not just DC movies, just like shows in general. If it's like bad at first, like let's say one season is bad, I'm like, it has hope, something like that. Just saying, like, well, this is just a different genre, but when it comes to anime, Sword Art Online first season was amazing, but then second season was bad, but I continued watching it, just like, oh, it's gonna have something at least. But when it comes to DC movies, Man of Steel hit me really hard on the head, and I was like, look, DC is shit. And I was like, nah, it's fine, it has another chance. Batman vs Superman is coming. I was like, okay, yeah, it's shit, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, now that you mentioned Man of Steel, I think my first viewing of it, I enjoyed the film. I liked the approach that they were going for. Obviously, like Scott said earlier, you don't have to make every DC character from Gotham, because it felt like they tried making Batman as if he came from Gotham. But like, I like the approach, but then an overall film is not. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, same.
No, agreed. Like, I'm the same as you. I enjoy the film as a film. It's just not Superman. That's all there is to it, really.
Yeah.
Green Lantern was another fucking shit film.
Oh Jesus, don't go there.
No,
I love the fact that Deadpool killed himself for that movie.
Hang on, quick, let's save this. So, X-Men Origins Wolverine, that's a good film, right? Geeky, you okay?
I think I might get a glass of water after that comment.
Yeah, well, I just heard Green Lantern and I was like, no.
Save it.
Kevin asks, random side question. Death Battle is going to do Doctor Strange versus Doctor Fate. Who do we think will win?
Oh.
I didn't know they were doing that. I know Doctor Strange was coming into it, but I didn't know it was going to be versus Doctor Fate.
Neither did I. That's
definitely watching that.
I don't know. My initial reaction was Doctor Fate, but upon reflection of all of 10 seconds, I think Doctor Strange will take it.
I think so too. And if you come with a popularity aspect, Doctor Strange would win as well.
Yeah, but normally Death Battle don't let popularity affect their decisions. But sometimes it feels like they do. At the end of the day, Death Battle...
They can be very wrong, though.
I was just going to say...
Let's just not go there, yeah?
Yeah, they can make the facts in inverted commas fit the narrative to however they want. And I enjoy their work, I just don't take it seriously.
No, don't. Don't take Death Battle seriously. At all. Oh, but the comments in some of those Death Battles. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Go to Goku versus Superman.
Don't go there. That is the prime example.
Go and read that comment section.
It probably has more comments than likes and dislikes combined.
Trust me, look. There's like these paragraphs that have like 60 lines. It's just so wonderful.
Do you know what really annoys me is I despise that Death Battle because they basically make it like he cannot do anything until he gets to Super Saiyan 4. Well, first of all, Super Saiyan 4 ain't canon. I have no idea why that was a fight. And second of all, and Super Saiyan 3 should have been enough. But even Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2 is enough to damage Superman. He's not indestructible. He just he just heals from the power of the sun. Now, ultimately, I actually agree with the outcome. I don't think Goku, with those forms, could beat Superman, because the only way that he could actually defeat Superman would be to cut off his solar energy. And then I'm sorry, but Goku wouldn't do that, even if he figured that out, because he'd want to beat him in a fight. Superman versus Vegeta, on the other hand, Vegeta puts him down for the count. Quite easily.
Without hesitation.
Over the head with no comeback whatsoever. And then they go, it doesn't matter how many new forms he gets, fanboys. He's never going to beat Superman. Please stop leaving us 60-long paragraph comments.
The thing is, right, I know, like, it is apparent that Goku won't beat Superman. But the thing is, don't forget that like there are a lot of things that have been said about Goku that like put him up there for the challenge. Because you know when he fought Beerus in Battle of Gods, that his like their clash would have destroyed the universe. That puts him up to the challenge. To be fair, like
that's the thing I was gonna say. Like, I don't want this to become a whole death battle debate, but like,
yeah,
I knew
when
this was
they-
coming anyway. As soon as Death Battle was mentioned, this was inevitable.
when they do the bit at the end where they like explain their thought process, I wanted to scream, because that's when I lose faith, or not faith, but that's when I lose the plot with Death Battle. Like, the bit that I always remember is when they tried to justify the speed difference between Superman and Goku, because Superman could pull a planet with these weird Green Lantern thingies and could go like from one side of the universe to the other in a couple of seconds, but they did Goku's by how fast he could go along Snake Bridge by comparing the width of the scales on either side. And I start banging my head against the wall going,
I was like, what the
have you
fuck?
ever watched an episode of anime? None of them are that's not like, that isn't a way you can do that. They are not drawing them at the same depth and width apart in any frame, thinking that in 20 years' time, someone's going to look at that and think, oh, this must be how long in real time this is taking Goku. Dragon Ball doesn't do real-time events. 20 episodes in real life can be like a minute long.
Yep. Look at the Tournament of Power, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking,
Yeah, I know.
especially
that
last episodes, fucking 27 minutes. Oh, the Tournament of Power has 3 minutes left. It's been 4 minutes since the start of the video.
last
Manev
episode
Sharma,
was
that's
a
what
couple
we're
of
talking
seconds.
about.
Yeah. The last episode of Dragon Ball Super, the arc, was literally seconds. And the amount of stuff that happened in that seconds, like, it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
But
I
yeah,
honestly didn't like the way they ended Dragon Ball Super.
it's not.
I'm
it's
sad.
Not, it's not.
They've
ended.
written everything.
Yeah, it's not ended. But anyway, when you said the Snake Way thing, yeah, completely there with you, bro. It's
I
just
know,
like,
I'm
you clearly know that they don't watch that much anime, and they have very little knowledge when it comes to Dragon Ball. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you even put these characters against each other and debate about it if you haven't a fucking clue about Dragon Ball? It's like, wow, like seriously, you clearly done this for views, bro. Oh.
Like someone just like whenever like I commented on that video on my old account, and I was like, "Look, Goku should have won, period," and then just left it. And tomorrow I wake up and see like 13 notifications from that comment. People were like, "But Superman 1,000,000 can destroy planets and do this." and that."
Prostex, I can save you some time here. Just read the chat, because that's exactly what's happening. I'm aware of how powerful Superman is, Ozai. I actually started my rant with saying that I don't think Goku would beat Superman. I'm aware that Superman is literally a god in mortal form. However, I do genuinely think that if you take Super into account, and if he could go into Ultra Instinct Mastered at will, I don't actually think Superman has an answer to that, and I'm quite happy to like not debate
Has
it,
no
'cause
chance.
I don't want to debate it, but I genuinely do think that that puts him back into Superman's ballcourt of ridiculously OP. And yes, I'm sure a writer will come along and give Superman some mystical new power that will beat that at some point. But for right now, I think Ultra Instinct trumps Superman's
Exactly.
speed.
Yeah, I'm convinced. I'm actually convinced that Akira Toriyama is in direct competition with whoever creates the comics for Superman.
By the way, the thing is, right? The thing
That's
is, with the
actually quite
speed
comical to think about.
With the
I'm
speed thing,
convinced.
with the speed thing, I feel like it should have been like a bit more in depth because Whis' speed has been like called out for like being more than the speed of light.
We can
And
summon
when-
the Bifrost. Summon the
Exactly.
Bifrost.
But whenever,
Forge the
like, they would-
Stormbreaker.
whenever they were training, Goku actually managed to get a hit on them.
Mm.
So
Yeah, but
does
see,
that say anything?
look, I don't know. Like when it comes to Dragon Ball, they don't go into statistics of these things; they just do them.
hmm
You know, when it comes to comic books,
Yeah.
DC, Marvel, they go into depth. They can tell you how fast they go. They like to boast about how fast they go.
Yeah.
That's why you can't really compare anime to like comics.
Movies.
In ways you
Yeah.
can, but when it comes to being down into the specifics, you can't really, without
Yeah.
sounding stupid, like Screw Attack.
Golden Freezer, you have just made. Yeah, that's exactly correct. He made Jiren to prove Goku can beat Superman. I genuinely believe that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
god.
telling
Thanks
you.
for pointing that out.
Jiren is the embodiment of Superman in Dragon
Yep.
Ball.
I also think that one of the things that they said that is you can't actually gauge how strong or powerful Goku is. I completely agree with, but I also think, well, then why did you put him in the fight? However, in Super, it proved my point for me. How many times did Goku lose all of his stamina only to then come back into the fight a couple of episodes later, pretty much fully charged, even though he and everyone else is saying he isn't fully charged, if you know what I mean. It's force of will over ability of the body, which is pretty much like martial arts at its core.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I'll be right back. I'll get something to eat. This is getting interesting.
Oh, for the love of God, let's move on.
If we talk about Goku
I'll
and
be right back.
Superman, oh my god. I already see it in the comments here. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's like, I get people's points of view from both sides of the spectrum. I do. But unless you have solid evidence to back up both characters, specifically, then tell me who wins.
I actually think Victor Cuts hits the nail on the head there. If Superman fought Goku in the Dragon Ball universe, then Goku wins. But if he came to the DC universe, then Superman wins.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that, Victor. That's exactly how it should be. Depends where they are.
Ah. Well, I didn't expect to have that conversation.
Well, since Screw Attack came into the fold, it was bound to happen. I knew straight away it was going to lead to that, and then Frostex brought it up, and I was like, oh no. Here we go. Here we go. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's. Since Frostex isn't here, I would like to know if anybody in your chat, I mean, I don't think they do, but you never know, they hide in the long grass. Is anyone here reading or a fan of any of the new Boom comics that are featuring the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Because those comics are amazing, and some of the stuff that they've announced recently is just incredible. The Shattered Grid storyline is amazing, but I am really excited for what they've just announced, which is Soul of the Dragon, which basically sounds like they're going to make Logan, but for the original Green Ranger, and he's going to be really old, past his prime, and he's going to have to go and do some things that aren't PG-13. Let's put it that way.
Old man Tommy is here, bro. Oh, Richard Kurakanobi, thanks for coming, dude. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it.
So, how long have you guys been podcasting? Well, technically, this isn't a podcast yet, so this is like a trial run. So you could say that this is our first one. And yes, there are some Power Rangers fans in your chat. Brilliant.
I knew there would be. So
I didn't know that, Ozai. That's really cool. Sorry, if you've told me that before, I'd forgotten that.
What did he say? I didn't see it.
He knows Zach and Malika from Hyper RPG, which are the people who do Power Rangers Hyper 4.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
That's really cool, dude. I actually do vaguely remember now that you tell me that. I apologize.
That is actually very cool. That's very, very cool.
Now the theme song's in my head. Damn you!
Damn you! That's the thing about Power Rangers theme songs, though.
Oh, Hyperforce has a good one.
Yeah.
It's like way better than any of the shows have been for a while.
Yeah. What was my favorite one? Well, obviously, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is the iconic Power Rangers song. I like the Wild Force song. I'm not gonna lie. I like that song. Or
yeah, that wasn't a bad song.
Lightspeed Rescue was pretty good too.
Yeah, Lightspeed Rescue. I mean, I like most of the series. There's only 2 series I don't really like, and that's Mystic Force and Operation Overdrive because it's rap. And I don't mean that as in I don't like rap. I actually do. I just think that they're really bad.
Yeah, true.
I watch Super Sentai. There's Super Sentai on the shelf behind me that you can't really see. I watch all sorts of tokusatsu. I watch Kamen Rider. What was I watching the other? Never mind. But anyway, yes, I agree with you that the Japanese stuff a lot of the time is better, but not always. There are some shows that I don't think that applies to.
Yeah.
Ghost Trooper says Power Rangers SPD was the best because nostalgia. Well, the book that's just been announced is actually set in the time of SPD. That's when Tom is an old man, and his son is actually part of SPD now as a ranger.
Yeah, that's crazy. I only recently found that out. I was like, "Wow, that's epic."
Well, the thing is like, and I'm going to show how much I know about Power Rangers now. That actually is from all the way back in Power Rangers Zeo. That's actually canon. The end of Zeo is called A Day to Remember, I think. And in that episode, Tommy and Catherine are an old married couple looking after their grandson, telling them about the stories of them in Angel Grove back in the era of Zeo. And at the end of the episode, their son turns up to pick up their grandkid. And when he gets there, he's wearing a communicator and it goes off. And he sort of says to his dad and his mum, like, oh, actually, something's just come up. Can you, do you mind looking after him for a bit longer? And they sort of look at each other and smile. And it's like, yeah, no, we can take care of him. And they don't actually tell him that they know or that they ever were ones. And that's just how they leave it. But like, this book is very much clearly following that canon, as they've confirmed that Tommy, the son, came from Catherine.
Wow.
Like the writer of these books is so into Power Rangers, it's not funny. Like, he has found ways to make stories out of the smallest throwaway line from the original series. It's ridiculous. And
turn it into something crazy awesome.
Yes.
Oh my god. December
yes.
can't come quick enough.
Ozai, yes, tweet him the Hyperforce intro. It's so cool. Someone just said, oh yeah, Super Sentai is superior than the current Power Ranger TV shows. How do I say this nicely? Teletubbies from the 1990s is superior than the current Power Ranger TV shows.
That's you saying it nicely.
and I apologize to the actors who are working on those shows, but like, so you guys are fine, but the stories, I mean, I haven't watched this series because I long since gave up on it, but like, everything since Saban brought it back has just been, the only word I can use to describe it is generic and uninspired. There's just nothing there for anyone. I don't even know how kids enjoy it anymore.
It is quite interesting. Okay, so we're on the topic of Power Rangers now. Okay, so obviously recently we know that Hasbro has taken over, and only I have recently found out from you is that Saban still has a major role to play in it.
Yes.
So when it comes to potentially, I don't know, I really hope they don't do a sequel to the movie that they've only recently released.
Oh, it's funny because Golden Freezer just asked you what your thoughts are on the Power Rangers movie from last year.
Can I just not comment on that?
Yeah.
What would you like to see from a new adaptation for a full-length feature film, full-budget Power Rangers movie? How would you like it to be perceived, if you will?
Oh, that's tough. I would
this is
take
a big question
different
for you now, dude. You are
I would
the
take a
almighty
different
Power Ranger knowledgeable one.
Thanks. I would take a different tone to the one that the film took. I would keep it as it was in terms of more an older audience, but I think I would want to make it more action focused and not necessarily change much in terms of the way they built the characters. However, if I could, I would keep 4 of the 5 actors that they cast, and I apologize because I'm about to insult one of them. I would keep Billy, Zach, Trini, and Kimberly, but I would recast Jason.
100%.
Because I don't actually really think that... I don't think it's necessarily him either. I think it's the way the character was written. The other 4 feel like the original 4, but reimagined. Jason's character feels completely different to how he was in the 90s. And the fact that he's not a martial artist. In my opinion, that's a big part of his character and the reason why he is the way he is.
True.
So I think that
before you keep going there, speaking of Jason, you know he's dad in the movie.
Yes.
For some reason, first glance, I thought it was Austin St. John.
So did I, and I am so confident that that was supposed to be a thing because he is like you see it too, right? That guy couldn't have looked more like how Austin looked at the time if he tried.
Yeah, because then I was like, okay, it's not him, but why wasn't it him? And so I was like, it's not him, but why couldn't that have been Austin St. John? Like, why not?
Bradley Briggs says less ads written into the movie would be great. Yes, I would not have them say the word Krispy Kreme about 20 times. No.
Oh my god. And the whole thing leading to the Krispy Kreme, like...
However, I will say that I really did enjoy Elizabeth Banks' Rita Repulsa, and I would have actually gone further with it. Like, the way that she ripped people's, like, golden teeth out of their jaws, and her staff was made of, like, golden, limbs and teeth and stuff, and when she wrecked the jewelry store and she was just having fun and just really going for it in terms of being evil, I was like, yes, you get this. Why is no one else on the same page as you? I would take, like, I would want them to be a bit more truer to the original characters in terms of their character structure, not the way that they portrayed them. But the other thing I would change is pretty much the Zords and Goldar and everything else that they changed, because that was just where it fell apart for me. As I said to you, they did well when it was the actors acting, and the second that they tried to do anything that was relating to Power Rangers, it just fell apart.
Yeah, 100% agree. So if you were to change the whole Power Ranger aspect to it, like, what would you change? Like, obviously, we've had this discussion already. The Zords were crap. They looked crap. Just didn't like them.
Make them look like the original Zords. Make the Megazord recombine the correct configuration, and make them the correct size, because they are supposed to be like skyscraper height, not 2 stories taller than a house. I would also change. I mean, I say change, but for all we know, it was something that might have happened as time went on anyway. But they need morphers, because I don't like the fact that they had to stand on, like, safety rails to get their powers.
Plus, I don't understand why they released morphers. You know, Toys R Us released official morphers.
I was literally gonna hit on that. Like,
what the hell?
I actually think that was. I bet you that's a deleted scene somewhere.
Do you know, it probably is. But is it really worth buying the movie to get to see the deleted scene?
Oh, I have the movie on Blu-ray. It's not on there. The other cameo that featured Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson is, and I would have preferred that one had been in the film.
What was the other cameo?
You know the sequence where Trini and Kimberly are in the restaurant and they're having a powers-enhanced battle over the last potato, I think, with their forks?
Yeah.
Well, the camera pans over, and on the other side is Tommy and Kim dressed in green and pink. Clearly a couple sitting together watching them, just like, what the hell are those two doing? But Tommy has his long hair, like, back as he did in the 90s.
Oh. That I want to see. I mean, it was a nice nod to the 90s, seeing them at the end of the film.
It was. I do agree with what many of the other actors who weren't in the film said, especially Austin, which is like, he would want to be in the film for more than 5 seconds holding a camera going, yay, look at me, I'm relevant.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Victor Cut says they make Power Rangers or Transformers movies just to sell the toys. The thing is, Transformers and Power Rangers, the stories that they wrote for the comics, and especially in the case of Transformers, the cartoons in the 80s, they weren't written just to sell toys. They were created to sell toys, but the people writing them decided to go further with them than that. And that's the thing with films. Like, Power Rangers can't be just a thing to sell toys, because I don't think they're a big enough brand anymore to do that. I don't think kids care enough about them anymore to do that.
No, they're fizzling out. They're becoming totally irrelevant.
Yeah, and Hasbro says as much. Like, they need to completely rejig how the franchise is approached, and they are massively underutilized. They have everything. Like, okay, so the 90s show, let's round this off quickly. Martial arts, transforming robots that are also dinosaurs, that features both magic, sci-fi, space aliens, and witches and monsters. That's like a recipe for everything that's popular right now. Explain to me how that film didn't become huge. Like, you could argue that there's too much, but at the same time, I disagree. I think that everything that's in the original show just needs to be given a bigger effects budget. I don't actually think you need to change that much. I just think you need to give it the money it needs to make it look good.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So, like, when it comes to, like, the appearance, I will say, okay, we're going to start things off with the suits, which, of course, is a big deal because it's what they morph into. It's their powers. It's their super persona. How would you like it to be approached in a full-budget movie? Like, how do you think it should have been approached?
I actually... The suits grew on me. However, there was someone who redesigned them. There was someone who put out like redesigns of the original suits that sort of blended together the ones that we got in the film and the ones that how they used to look. The biggest thing for me would have been that the helmets needed to look more like the designs of the dinosaurs that they were supposed to be representing, and they had too much of their color and they needed more white in them. Like, the thing is they didn't really establish what those suits were. Like, the thing that the original show kind of went away from in time is they transform into these beings. It's not necessarily a suit of armor. It's one of the reasons why when they get hit, they spark, which is one of the biggest, longest running jokes in the series. Like, they get hit and they spark, but they transform themselves into these other forms. They're not necessarily just coating themselves in armor like Iron Man does, you know? And I think that would be something worth exploring. Like, they're not just 5 Iron Man guys that can summon weapons and move much faster, you know?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Because essentially they're morphing, not changing their outfits.
Yes, exactly. And Kevin just said they could have Shattered Grid. I want Shattered Grid to be a live-action series. I don't want that to be a film. I want it to be a series, because if they did it as a series and they poured money into that, that thing would become stupidly popular.
I mean, look at the trailer, for Christ's sake. It blew people's freaking minds.
Yeah, and that really wasn't a high-budget one.
Yeah. Blew their minds. I mean, it was so good.
You know that suit he's wearing? That was actually... he owns that suit. He commissioned it from Anarchy Cosplay. Like, it's a cosplay suit. It's not something that a production team made.
Yeah, Anarchy Cosplay is freaking amazing. I'm so tempted to order a suit off him.
Well, I wouldn't, because you won't get it for like 4 years.
Yeah, it takes ages, apparently.
Yeah, but to be fair, JDF wants to do anything that involves him, like, in the nicest possible way. I love JDF, don't get me wrong, but saying he actually wants to do it is like, list me things he doesn't want to do. It's shorter. Yeah. I am 99% convinced that when Soul of a Dragon drops in December, that we will get a live-action trailer for Soul of the Dragon starring JDF as well. Because
oh my god!
If you know this, DB Geek, but I'm going to say this for the chat. If you look at recent pictures of JDF and the facial hair that he has, the way his hair is cut, and then you go and look at the way that Tommy is designed for this old man Tommy look, they're identical. And I think that he said at a convention recently that I attended that his facial hair is for a project that he's working on, and in my opinion, I'm putting 2 and 2 together. I might be making 6, it might not happen, but he is very much interested in playing an older version of Tommy, and he wants this whole Logan story. He has been banging on about a Logan for Tommy for years now. And now someone's written it, of course he's going to be advocating to actually bring that to life in live action. And I would watch the shit out of it. I'm not complaining. But yeah, I think that there's a very good chance we'll get another live action trailer like Shattered Grid.
Oh man, I can't wait. Speaking of, give me a second. since we're talking about Power Rangers, I'm gonna have this guy right here beside me.
I can't. Oh, there we go. The stream's caught up now. I would go over and grab the Red Ranger helmet, but it's too much effort.
You have red?
I don't have that version of red. I have the Shout Factory 20th anniversary all Power Ranger seasons on DVD that are encased inside a Red Ranger helmet.
I want that.
It's ridiculously difficult to actually like keep together, but it's so cool to have it on the side.
Yeah, they only brought out 3 legacy helmets. This one, the red one, and for some reason the Red Ranger from the movie.
Oh, I didn't know they had released that. Oh wait, which movie? You mean the new one?
The new one.
Ah, yes. Sorry, that makes more sense. For some reason, my brain thought of the 1996 movie.
No. I
No.
like that movie. That movie, the other movie.
Welcome to my nightmare.
But
I think the night.
Yeah, the whole Tommy Logan story. Oh god, I can't wait. So hyped. I'm so hyped for that, man.
Yeah, man. That'll be a good book. I will look forward to your thoughts on that one.
Oh, for sure. So obviously the Zords then. Like, I actually, when we were speaking of the suits, I think you remember, I didn't know if you tagged me on Instagram or was it the redesigned suits that you were on about earlier. It could be a different thing, but they look like redesigns of the original suits.
Yeah.
And it looked so cool.
Yes.
Who did that? Who designed that?
It's someone who does that for a living. It's not like some random guy. He was actually asked to do that for a potential Power Rangers film, and they passed on those designs, which made the internet go, what?
Wow. And they never went with those designs?
Nope. Because they look too much like the originals, basically. They didn't want it to look like the original in any way, shape, or form. And it's like, well, that was clearly obvious.
Wow. Well, that was a bad move.
Well, I think it's stupid. Like, I really detest this whole idea of if you reboot something, it mustn't be like the original. It's like, no. Some things you reboot because you need to distance itself from the original, and some things you just want to reboot it because the original was made in an era where they couldn't actually do things that they wanted to do. Like Power Rangers, the giant Megazord fight sequences with giant monsters. Yes, we can do that now. Look at Pacific Rim.
I was just about to mention Pacific Rim. I mean,
hello? What did I miss?
Oh, Frostex. A whole rant about Power Rangers you missed. Not rant, but just, well, some aspects was a rant.
I made some really good noodles. I'm gonna eat them.
Dragon Crouton says he has Morpher, original White Ranger Sabotoy, and the Legacy Dagger, which I assume is the Legacy Dragon Dagger. I do have the Legacy Dragon Dagger. I also have...
Damn you!
It's also signed by Jason David Frank.
Damn you! Even more!
Oh my god.
As
I
is
think
my
insult to injury.
as is my Legacy 1 of 2000 Green Ranger White Ranger Morpher.
I'm leaving.
Oh, please.
Damn
Sorry.
you! I could have got my shit signed too.
I know.
Goddamn work and life and fucking plot.
I know. I was so pissed off that you couldn't come to that. Like, if I ever come to Ireland, please give me permission to come and give your boss shit.
Please do.
I'm so pissed off about that. I was so looking forward to that weekend.
Come over here and slap my boss across the face and just leave. That I would pay to see. Because he has no idea who you are and he wouldn't know what the fuck just hit him.
Oh, I would so do that.
If the purge happens, first thing I do, fly to Ireland and hit DB Geek's boss.
Everybody just come over and hit my boss in the face.
Bradley Briggs, I watched that Animorphs TV show, and thank you for telling me that, because I actually did think that he was in that, but I couldn't remember, and I've never looked it up, so thank you, you've saved me a job. And yes, that Animorphs TV show, not the best thing that's ever been commissioned for TV. However, the books, amazing. I read all of them as a kid.
Right, I'm going to get a glass of water.
Dragon Crouton. Oh, Dragon Crouton says that you met the other Red Ranger who isn't Austin. So you met Steve Cardenas, the guy who played Rocky.
I met him too.
Oh.
I haven't met Steve.
Lucky you guys.
He came to Dublin.
You don't like Power Rangers?
I mean, I just didn't watch the latest stuff, but I did watch the
I don't watch
original.
the latest stuff.
Yeah, I watched the originals. I watched up to the shittiest Power Ranger Samurai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Team
that-
Ichigo,
that is
yes,
just
DB
bad.
Geek is an anime watcher / reactor and a gamer. But we're just doing like a kind of geeky thing at the moment. This is like the first time we're doing it, so this is kind of like an experiment. This is way too long. I don't even know if I'm gonna get any sleep tonight, but we're having fun. So the only good thing
I
is
find it fun. Like, I don't care. Like, this is cool.
Oh, Victor Cutts, you are just taking us down a journey of all sorts of bad film memory lanes. What's your opinion on the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Oh my god, no.
Well, I'll tell you what my opinion is, because I actually probably have a less mainstream opinion. I think the first film sucked, and there's no other way of putting it. However, I actually think that the second film was good.
So what did I miss?
We're now talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films that Michael Bay produced. I see you've changed your hairstyle.
Oh, did I? Oh, I never noticed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were just asked about our opinions on the films, and I was just saying, I've just said that the first film sucked, and then I was about to say that I think the second film, which was that Out of the Shadows? Anyway, I actually thought it was good. I didn't have a
Call that non-mainstream, because that is the same as me. I actually enjoy the second film.
I thought that they fixed most of the issues that the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films had. However, I don't like the fact that they brought in Casey Jones and then didn't really have Casey Jones, because that character was not Casey Jones.
Oh my god, my thoughts exactly.
I don't know what they were trying to achieve with that guy, and it's a shame, because I think Stephen Amell probably could have played a good Casey Jones, but he really wasn't Casey.
Right.
Like,
No.
he was a policeman for starters. And yeah, they seem to like try to cram every single character that had ever appeared in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into that film. Like, they had Shredder, they had Baxter Stockman, they had Bebop and Rocksteady, they had Kang, whatever his name is. Krang. And it's like, the only thing apart from Casey Jones, the one thing I didn't like in both films is the Shredder. Because in the first film he was just bad.
Gosh.
You can have his dragon dagger.
Oh, thanks, man.
Ghost Trooper 2003 TMNT animated series was the best. Completely agree. I literally only rewatched that series this year. I have them all on my computer, and I rewatched them, and I was like, nah, man, we definitely had the best generation of cartoons growing up. I know every generation says that, but like, we were that last generation that actually had shows that had some sort of intelligence to them. I've seen the shit that's on TV nowadays.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Nothing compares. It's like, what happened?
Exactly, that's my thoughts.
Dragon Crouton, have you seen the prices of Legacy Dragon Daggers? Do not think that you can just get another one, dude.
Yeah, they're super expensive. Like, I mean, look at eBay, for example.
You know what I want, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't get when he was out, could afford him, is the Legacy Saba.
Oh my god, yeah, I forgot they were releasing those.
They came out ages ago, dude.
I know. That's why I forgot.
Because like the current ones, or the last releases, because Bandai aren't obviously the toy makers anymore, is they've just released Legacy Xeomorphers and Legacy Gold Ranger Power Staff.
I seen that at Comic-Con.
Did you?
Yeah, I seen it in the glass thingy.
Like, as cool as it is, I'm not ever gonna buy a gold Power Staff, because apart from the fact that it's a hell of a lot bigger than the one I had as a kid, it doesn't really do anything like Saba does. Saba's animatronic, which I think is so cool. The Xeomorpher, on the other hand, I actually really like what they've done to improve that compared to the original, like, toy. Like, it has way more sounds and light effects, but it also has, you can rotate the dial and pick which ranger you want to morph into, and it changes the color that comes out the morpher and the sounds.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I know, dude. I seen it. I had
You
it in my
had it in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did you not buy it?
I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me these things that I don't have answers to.
Oh, well, okay. Let me ask you this. Charles House asks, "Are you guys happy with what they did to good old Samurai Jack? And do you want Jack back for more?"
No,
Oh my god.
I don't like the. Trust me, I actually didn't like the latest movie. Kill me, just attack me. I didn't like the latest Samurai Jack.
I'm gonna have to annoy everyone. I haven't actually watched the latest season of Samurai Jack. It's one of those things that I was so excited to watch, and then it came out and it went, and I keep thinking to myself, I need to watch it, and now we're here and I still haven't watched it.
Hurt me. I actually didn't like it. Well, I don't hate it. I just didn't like it.
Okay, so can Frostex Flames and Psycho Gold please leave the stream?
However, I should stress that the reason why I haven't watched it straight away is because I didn't actually watch Samurai Jack as a kid. I watched it later on, and what I'm doing is
Hey, don't make me leave the stream alone, man.
No, hang on. I'm rewatching Samurai Jack from the very first episode because they're all on Amazon.
Okay.
God.
Psycho Gold, you can stay. Frostex, get the hell out of the stream.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Dragon
5
Crew.
of Samurai Jack is the best.
I'm sorry. I just didn't feel like it had enough nostalgia in it. It felt really new. It felt like an entirely new thing.
No,
Especially
man.
like
No,
I don't know, man.
So much nostalgia in this, bro. And
I
it's
mean,
like
the art,
it's
look,
made
the
for
art
the
style.
audience that grew up watching Samurai Jack.
I actually did grow up watching Samurai Jack. And I actually didn't like it. I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my brain.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock.
Attack me. Please don't go dislike my videos.
Who asked the question again?
It was
Psycho.
No, it wasn't. It was Charles House.
Charles House. Dude, I don't know if you know, but I've actually done a reaction series to Season 5 of Samurai Jack. So if you want to know my opinions on it, there you go.
So, the guy... Sorry, I don't have the chat up, but the guy, I think it's Dragon Crouton, has just said that he can get both the Dragon Dagger and Saber Sword still for $90 over at Toys R Us where he lives.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
I know, because the only way we can get them over here, Dragon, is literally eBay. Like, everywhere that we have, like, legitimately, just says sold out. Like, for me, it was Big Bad Toy Store, and they've sold out and never had any more in. Literally, I've just gone on eBay, and they're like $299 cheap. And then there's the Legacy of Black and Gold Saber is like $600, and that's not including shipping.
Oh my god, that's painful. That's painful.
I know.
That's painful. And like anywhere that we do happen to see it, like an actual version of it for sale, it's still ridiculously priced.
Yeah, I saw a Legacy Saber at a Comic-Con, and it was over £100, and I was like, I know that they're really expensive, and I know that that isn't expensive by comparison, but it still can't really justify it, you know?
True. I have never seen one up close.
I have. It's worth it. Justin Brummett says the Teen Titans cartoon was so good. Yes, it was. And the people who created that show have confirmed this week that if Teen Titans Go does well at the movies, as in allows them to get a shit ton of money, they are going to do a season 6 of the original Teen Titans show.
Oh my god, please. Oh, please.
I literally watched a video on it this morning.
That would be class. That would be so cool.
Send it to me after the stream. Or like now if you want.
Kevin Duane says some game trailers have just been released at E3. E3 hasn't started yet, has it?
I don't know. I was wondering this earlier. Like, I've noticed that.
It's starting on Monday, I think.
Well, I thought that.
Or is it this weekend?
Is it this week? Oh yeah, it's this weekend. Shit.
Oh.
It's this weekend, but it hasn't started. There's no trailers. I know there's teasers for announcements.
I saw a teaser for
there have been
Assassin's
some trailers, but nothing that I would like write home about, unless stuff has been released whilst we've been talking, I
Oh,
suppose.
trust me, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's a new game, dude. Please watch it. It's so hype. Like I haven't even.
I know that
Origins yet.
they've announced a Hitman 2, which also has a co-op mode. Because I've seen like 4 different people upload the same fucking trailer. I was like, I only need one, man. I only need one.
Why do I not hear about the stuff that I want to hear? I wanted to hear about the Hitman 2, but I didn't until
You're not
you
missing
said it.
anything. The trailer is just one of those boring CGI trailers where you don't even see anything happen. You just see
Oh.
the environment.
Well,
Don't,
shit.
don't worry, dudes. I'll be watching E3 live, hopefully, on Saturday.
Ooh.
So any trailers that do drop, it will be live of me watching them.
Nice.
But man, I
I
can't
won't.
wait. I don't know if you guys heard, but a little birdie told me that potentially, I don't know if this is true or not, but PlayStation 5 could possibly be making some sort of tease at E3 this year.
A lot of people have said that,
PlayStation 5.
but I'm not even sure I want a PlayStation 5 yet.
Same, my exact opinions, dude. I think it's too soon. I think PS4 still has a
Yeah.
lot more potential. There's
Exactly.
not been any really fantastic games out on PS4. God of War is an exception because that's fucking brilliant.
Oh my god, that game.
But
Ooh.
like, I think PS4 still has a compatibility to do so much more. Like, why are they rushing to 5?
It's still
already?
pretty new. Like, it hasn't like, or let's say, it didn't be out there as much as the PS3 did before PS4 appeared. You know what I mean?
Just because I don't want the comment to disappear, but someone just said that they watched. Oh god, it disappeared. Someone just said that Victor, that they watched Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Ed and Eddie, and many more old cartoons. Yes, dude, I watched most of those too, and I suspect so did DB Geek.
I sure did. Just about to say, I sure did. But speaking of Ed, and Eddie, did
Oh.
anybody see the new concept designs of the reboot?
Nope.
Oh, I heard about this, but I deliberately didn't look at it because I just
See-
thought I'm not gonna like it.
Don't look at it. Just don't do it.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. That's
Does it look as good as Thundercats Raw?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't.
I know they were doing a reboot of that, but I haven't seen that new version.
Have you
of
ever
it.
seen? I don't expect you to have seen an episode, but have you ever seen the art style for Steven Universe?
Yes, I have.
Well, draw Steven, but make him look like Lino. And that's what Thundercats Raw looks like.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. So, DB, I take that the concept of Ed, Ed, and Eddie is actually bad.
Oh, just. I mean, you can look at it all you want.
I don't want my childhood ruined, so
I'm looking at it now.
Oh, God.
I'm googling it now.
Don't do it!
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take one for the team.
Don't do it!
I don't know how to find it there. Wait, there was a film in 2017?
And Eddie
Of
new
what? Ed, Ed and Eddie?
concept
Yeah.
art.
Oh, I see it.
Oh no!
Oh, that's my exact reaction.
Oh no! What the fuck is that?
Why
What
is
the
Plank
fuck
the
is
main
that?
like draw?
Is that Nah, that's not Keegan, dude.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing.
What the fuck is this?
Well, to be fair, I grew up watching Charmed, and I watched the trailer for the reboot of Charmed the other night and nearly threw up. So, it's pretty par for the course with these reboots at the minute.
I've watched Charmed as
What?
well, dude. I did not know they were rebooting it though.
Oh yeah, you should watch the trailer, DB Geek.
No, I think I'm gonna pass, dude.
Yeah, well, if you watch Charmed, then there are 3 things I can say that will immediately make you understand why not to watch this. The first thing is they're not the Hallowells.
What? What?
The second, yep. I don't even need to go any further.
No, I don't think you need to.
I think I lost my will to live after seeing what I just saw.
Oh, some of the people looked it up in chat, and Justin's
so
just put,
sad.
I can never unsee that shit.
Yeah, I'm so sad. I am so sad.
So bad. Like Ed, Ed and Eddie that was so iconic,
Oh my
dude.
God.
I loved
Yeah,
it.
I was about to say that. You stole the word out of my mouth.
But not even that. when you become like obviously when he came older and you look back at it, like there's so many like hidden messages in Ed, Edd n Eddy as well.
Oh Lord,
Oh
yes.
my god, yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, that just makes it even more better. Now I can appreciate it as an adult as well.
Yep.
And now they're gonna reboot that shit and then make it look like that.
Trash, exactly. What the fuck is that?
Anyway,
When I
90s
heard
cartoons.
reboot, I was like, oh, that's good. But then...
That's just finished us off then, hasn't it?
I think so.
That's just yeah. Ed, Edd n Eddy reboot. Isn't it still on Boomerang? Does Boomerang still exist?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I know
It
the
might
original-
I was...
It might exist for you guys. I don't think it exists in the UK anymore.
Yeah, I think we still have it here.
I know
Because
that-
last day I was scrolling around and I actually came across it. And I saw fucking Looney Tunes playing. I was like, the days.
Minnie Smurf said, "Ew,"
Exactly. That's my
and
reaction.
then he says, "I want to die." Same feelings, dude. Same feelings.
So, to get us off of that awful subject and go back to what we were talking about, what is there anything in particular that you're hoping that will get announced at E3 that hasn't been announced?
I would like. Well, I'm pretty sure this won't ever happen, but I would like a Metal Gear Solid remaster of some sort. Because since Konami took the rights to that game, it has never been the same for me. Like, I don't know why, but I just started hating it more and more. So I want some sort of retribution to that game. I don't know. Do you feel the same? Have you ever played Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah. I played the original. Well, I didn't play the original, but I helped my dad play the original.
I really didn't like the Konami versions.
Then we played then we played the PlayStation 2 version together, and to be honest, we checked out. I don't know if this is when it was Konami or what, but I thought Konami was always involved from the PlayStation era. I couldn't get. We just no. Metal Gear Solid 3 just finished us off when it.
Yep.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was bad enough, but Metal Gear Solid
Exactly.
3 might as well have just been called Cutscene Simulator.
Yep. Since then, I just hated it. Like, it felt like what.
What was I gonna say to you? Yeah, the most Metal Gear I've ever played was Metal Gear Solid 1 on a demo disc for about 20 minutes.
What it is that you need.
You couldn't defeat him if you had your controller plugged into.
Oh yeah,
to
that's
the player
it.
1
Yeah,
slot.
yeah.
You had to plug it into player 2.
Yeah, because he would read what you're gonna do, right?
See,
Yeah.
that's why I love old
Yeah.
games, man.
And
It
then
was so good.
Metal Gear Solid 2 used to fuck with you even worse because it got to the point where the comm link would just screw with you, and there would be times when you had to just basically sit through shit after shit after shit, and then eventually it would trigger a cutscene. But then it got even weirder because the game would actively fight you. It wouldn't display things correctly, and it would do this thing. I remember the first time it happened, it was just like, what the hell is going on? And it would basically show you the mission failed screen, but it wouldn't say mission failed, it would say fission mailed. And down in the tiny little corner where it would normally show you where you died, the game was still going. Your character was still alive, and you had to keep going in that tiny little screen.
Oh my god.
Oh, and yes, as Kevin said, sorry, not Kevin, Ghost Trooper said, Psycho Mantis could also read your memory card and tell you what games you'd been playing.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Provided
Oh my
it was
God.
obviously a game that he had a voice line for.
Trust me. Oh my god. When he started just stating them, I was like, Dad?
Because
Help!
basically his whole thing in game was that he could read your mind.
Yeah. I literally, my first thought was like,
They don't do
need
this.
help.
They don't do this shit enough anymore.
oh yeah, definitely.
To be honest, they wouldn't be able to do the whole put a controller in another slot thing, because I would actually love to see like a modern kid try to figure that out, because all controllers are wireless.
I know, yeah, it's
Oh
funny.
my god.
You know, 90s kids struggles.
Remember when you like put the CD in the PlayStation 2 and you just like epically and stressfully waiting for that ding sort of sound and the PlayStation logo to appear.
Yep.
Just
But
to
then-
check the fucking CD is working. Oh,
But then I remember doing that for the PlayStation 1, so...
oh my god. I would be like, oh my god, please, please, please. And then the second it appears, I start screaming, yeah! I can play Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yusuf is asking, are you reading the comments, DB Geek?
I am reading them. I'm just not answering them because we're just talking.
I'm playing Pokemon. I can't. I just need to do something while talking, or else I just lose.
Definitely a Metal Gear Solid 1 remaster, not a 3 remaster.
Oh yeah, defo, dude.
But like, I am interested to see. I know this is not something that I'm predicting is coming up. This is something that is coming up. Fallout 76.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for that.
I'm interested to see what this is actually going to be based off of. I know it's years in the past before Fallout 1 even, which is really interesting. I just want to know, like from what I've heard and the source that I've read, that it's not actually going to be a massive open world RPG. So it could mean that it could be in the confines of the vault itself. So I am actually interested to see where Bethesda are going with this new Fallout game.
I genuinely believe the majority of the internet is correct in that it's going to be an online game, and that's why it's limited to being inside the vault. Especially, I'm not sure though about being an online survival game. I really hope it's not. We have enough of them.
Yes, we do.
Unless it's got like a proper Fallout like twist to it. Like, not just like, oh, it's a Fallout survival game where it's exactly the same as all the others, except you get to wear Fallout uniform while you do it. If it actually is different, then fair enough, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of people were kind of hoping for a New Vegas style sequel. I was kind of too. I don't know. It's interesting. Then again, I was looking for something Elder Scrolls related, but we'll probably have to wait another while for that.
Well, I mean, they announced the new expansion for the Elder Scrolls Online, so it's like people said, I think those waiting for the next Elder Scrolls game will probably be waiting a very long time.
Yeah, they just keep bringing out new stuff for Elder Scrolls Online.
Don't get me wrong, they probably will do the next Elder Scrolls game eventually. They did say that Online isn't the next Elder Scrolls big game, but they also said that they're going to do other games before they even start work on Elder Scrolls, so...
Yeah, true. I am interested to see more of that Spider-Man game, though.
Oh yeah, that one too. I'm looking forward to that. A lot of my friends are as well.
I will definitely play it / probably even stream it. However, the one thing that does worry me about that game is we haven't really seen much of it, but what we have seen I can describe by saying the word QuickTime.
Yeah.
So true.
You mean most of the cinematics and all that?
Yeah, which slightly worries me. Like,
let's just hope that's down to a minimum.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more worried that like that's what they're choosing to show off. Like, people don't really like QuickTime.
No.
I'm a bit concerned that that's going to be a lot in the game.
Yeah, me too.
The rest of the stuff looks good though. Like, you know, it looks very Arkham Knighty, but with Spider-Man web powers.
Yeah.
I already have it pre-ordered.
It's quite funny.
I'm gonna
actually.
get it when it comes out.
We were just talking about games that fuck with you, and I was about to mention Arkham Asylum, and then remembered that you haven't actually played Asylum. You skipped it.
I skipped it. Yeah.
I played Arkham Asylum. That game fucks with you as well.
Oh yeah, any level with Scarecrow in, right? So there's a particular scene, DB Geek, because I'm assuming you're not going to play it anytime soon, are you?
No, I've already played.
So
Arkham City.
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham
Whenever there's a level to do with Scarecrow, it messes with your sanity, and he always hits you with Scarecrow gas, but you don't actually know that he's hit you with Scarecrow gas. Like the first time it happened, it is so freaky. You essentially walk through an area with a busted pipe, so you think. In reality, you've just been doused with Scarecrow gas, and stuff starts happening that isn't real. But at one point in the game, you walk through a door that, again, has this gas coming out, but again, you don't notice it unless you're really paying attention as a player. And as you're walking along the corridor or running along the corridor because you're trying to do something really important, all of a sudden the game starts glitching. Now, I don't mean glitching as in the game is glitching. I mean like the disc is having trouble spinning. And any minute I'm expecting the console to start making really bad noises. And all of a sudden it goes and everything on the screen jitters around and then it dies. And I jumped out of my chair
I got
to
scared.
turn the console off and unplug it because I thought it was about to red ring of death because I had it on 360. And just as I was about to turn it off, it came back. And I was like, I was just holding myself there and I was like, oh, for God's sake, it's rebooted. I better not have corrupted my save file. And then as I'm sat there looking at the intro cinematic play again, I'm like, hang on. The moon is upside down? Like there's a bat symbol logo, it's the wrong way up.
Yeah.
And then it plays the entire logo, but everything's wrong. Sorry, it plays the entire intro, but everything's wrong and different. And you're like, wait, is this a Scarecrow level? And it's so good the way that these levels just sort of creep in and you just don't know they're there. But that particular moment scared the shit out of me. I thought my console was dying.
Oh man, that sounds so cool. That sounds super interesting.
The thing is, the same happened to me, but I actually didn't jump out of my chair to turn it off. I was like, just paralyzed. Because I got scared. I was like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Did I buy a fucked up disc? And then just immediately just happened. And like, I got that it's a Scarecrow level, like immediately, like before that you did. When I saw the Batman logo just upside down, I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, no, I got it then. I'm just saying, like, if you haven't played Arkham Asylum, it's hard to explain, like, what happened.
Oh yeah.
Ghost Trooper just said that he actually turned his 360 off when that happened.
We got massive chills from that game.
Oh man, I kind of wish I played it now just to get that experience.
Well, there are other Scarecrow levels. I still think it's worth playing. I think... Am I right in saying, chat, that there's a remastered version of it out there somewhere? I think so. I think Asylum and City got remastered versions, but I could be wrong. Oh,
I think City has one. I'm pretty sure. I've seen it somewhere.
Justin Brumet says yes, there is.
Yeah, very good.
Wait, what?
Golden Freezer says, hey Divi, can you send me the other two people YouTube channel? Their links are in the description, dude. Psycho is actually a Twitch streamer. Used to be a YouTuber. Rest in peace.
Yep. All hell.
But Frostex is a YouTuber.
I'm the sole survivor here.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's like a team. One that died, one is severely injured, and one is just like, unstoppable.
If you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Exactly. You guys should Google Godzilla Neo. It's really cool.
Godzilla Neo?
Are you saying that? Or is someone in the chat saying
Dragon Crouton 28. Dragon Crouton. Gonna do that right now.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna finish this Pokemon battle first. Okay. Save it. Okay, go Google it. Godzilla
I think I found it. These random drawings. They look cool.
They do look cool.
Godzilla Neo roars.
Godzilla Neo. Looks like a summon.
Holy shit! Okay, that scared me. All right.
Oh, I've got a good question for you to talk about the least likely game to ever get a reboot sequel.
What's that?
Who's here is excited for the return of the legend, Shaq Fu?
Thanks. Shaq Fu?
I'm gonna leave. Goodbye. Goodbye, guys. Been great.
Let's not go there.
Okay,
like
fine.
It's like, oh my god.
Like
it's like the shittiest game.
The fact that's actually a thing, you know, it questions my.
It's just fucking. It's just. They
Questions
turned
my
this
hope for
shot
humanity.
Shaquille O'Neal to Kung Fu Master.
The fact that someone just said Shaq Fu, that awful movie, is both intriguing me and worrying me. See, I've always associated it as an awful video game, but are you telling me there's a film adaptation out there that I'm unaware of?
There is. Yeah, I know that.
To Google.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to Google this too.
Yeah, Shaq Fu the movie.
Shaq Fu the movie. Oh god.
Oh my god. It got a 2 out of 10 rating. Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, it is a fucking movie.
Trust me. Look. Oh, it's watch it. Watch it. Watch the trailer for it.
No, I won't.
It's actually fucking funny.
Actual thing.
It's so cringe. It's so cringe.
Why does this exist?
Because at some point someone thought Shaq O'Neal was cool. Let's not forget, lads, that he's also a DC superhero.
Oh.
What do you mean, oh?
Yeah, nothing.
Like, what character?
Mm-hmm.
Steel.
What?
Okay, I'm done.
I was like, yeah, because when he said he's also a DC character, I was like, oh, is he gonna say?
I'm actually done.
You know what's funny is the people in the chat beat me to that comment, but I wasn't actually reading the chat, and then I was like, oh, several people have helpfully pointed out he also played Steel. Yes, I know he played Steel. I watched that movie late one night and was very confused.
Oh,
I
God.
didn't.
See,
And then I rewatched it many years later and realized that confused was the best feeling I could possibly get from that film.
all hope is lost for humanity and filmmakers.
Oh
So
my.
you don't consider his game a Legend Reborn?
Nope.
If you want Psycho, we can talk in a bit. Just off
In a
stream,
bit?
cause yeah, off stream, cause
In a bit,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be dying from exhaustion. I don't
Well, are you
it's gonna
tired?
be. Well, I'm not tired, but me and DBG have actually worked today.
Yeah.
I've been at work. I've been at my local market. Not doing anything, just being a cashier.
Oh, fair enough.
That's still a lot.
You know what's
What?
really funny is I actually played the original Shaq Fu video game as like part of my Mega Drive nostalgia.
Mega Drive nostalgia. Or like Mega
Yeah, we
Drive
had it on the
nightmares.
Mega Drive. Yeah, me and my sister and my cousin and later my brother all tried playing it because we like Mortal Kombat, we like Street Fighter, we had Eternal Warriors, and then I saw Shaq Fu in a really in
Shaq
like
Fu is in Mortal Kombat.
I'm guessing he
Shaq
said
Fu
I'm
is
guessing
in
you I can guess what you said, but you cut out then. But anyway, we didn't know that then. There was no way for us to know that. Playing it multiple times, and it was just funnily enough, it just wasn't that good an experience.
Shaq Fu isn't anything
enough.
like Street Fighter.
Can we please stop talking about shit stuff? Well, yeah, but we kind of failed at that once we started talking about the DCEU.
Yeah.
Does the name Static Shock mean anything to you all? Yes, I used to watch Static Shock, the animated series, and I enjoy the comic book character.
Here's one. Whoever watched Freakazoid
Yep.
Nope.
loved that show.
Do you know, it took me... I didn't know that was his name for the longest time. I remembered the show, I remember liking it, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out what it was called until I watched a thing on the animated universe of DC and realized that Freakazoid belongs to it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Neither did I. It's made by the
Freakazoid
same...
is actually based
Freakazoid
off
is
DC
technically
comic.
part of the DC animated universe from that era.
That is
The
crazy.
more you know.
Someone asked, are we excited for the Cloak and Dagger TV show? Yes, I like Cloak and Dagger. I'm also excited because the police detective on it is played by Emma Lahana, who was the Yellow Dino Thunder Power Ranger, which I didn't even know until quite recently.
Oh, cool.
Which is a series that had Jason David Frank on, so it was a good series.
Awesome.
Freakazoid is powered by the internet. I know, right? How is he not here? Yes, I used to watch Reboot.
I know this is completely unrelated, but I just caught a Porygon and I named it Zuckerberg, because androids and stuff. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Freakazoid would be a good match for Deadpool, but I actually would prefer to see a smackdown between Deadpool and the Mask.
Oh.
That would be interesting.
Or Big
I
Face,
want to see that.
as he would be perhaps more better known back then. I mean, it's not going to be much of a fight. Deadpool would just... It would just be the myriad of ways that the Mask could kill Deadpool, and Deadpool regenerates. But even so, that would be hysterical to watch.
I really want to see that.
That would be hysterical to watch.
No, you're not showing your age, Bradley. We all remember Earthworm Jim.
Oh, somebody just brought up Tremors. Speaking
Yes, I
of,
saw
did you
that.
see what I tagged you in?
Yes, I did, and I chose to ignore it.
What is it?
Oh,
A new Tremors film.
God. I think it's a series, dude.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's a series
Yeah,
starring
it's-
Kevin Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, kill me now.
I mean, I liked the Tremors movies as a kid.
I like the first Tremors movies. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I like the third one as well.
I thought they were fun, thought they were interesting, thought it was kind of creepy. Back then. That was a long time ago. But now they decided to bring it back with the same actor. And it looks the same as it did back then. Which is really bad.
I love how back in the day we didn't like analyze it well. We didn't care. Like we weren't as like critical and like when it comes to movies, just watch. But now we're like, this and that.
I disagree. I think people have always been like that. I just think that the internet has allowed us to share our criticisms with everyone, and so now we all know how judge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Plus, there's standards being made as well, and people trying to live up to those standards, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I think this is gonna have to end the stream. It's like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
That was definitely longer than we'd planned to go for. But then we did spend a long time talking about Avengers and Deadpool.
We did, because
And how
I knew,
shit Batman
knew,
vs Superman is.
yeah, and that was actually a short topic, but
Yeah.
they were major topics that needed to be covered. So
Mm-hmm.
So my question to the DB Geek chat before we wrap this up, and I pretend like 3 hours sleep will be enough. Did you guys find this interesting enough to want to see us do it again?
yes,
I would love to.
let us know in the comments, dudes.
Even though I didn't contribute that much, I just listened and gave some theories and stuff like that. But I would love to do this again. It's fun.
Yeah, you can contribute the Pokemon catching.
Yeah, I'm just here catching Pokemon.
Live long and prosper, my friend, says Bradley Briggs.
Oh man,
Justin Brammett says, but talking with fans. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Kevin Dion says, I would love to see a DB Geek podcast. To be fair, I've been trying to get DB Geek to do a podcast with me for a while, but he has a crazy schedule. If Frostex wants to join as well, then that would be pretty cool. I've actually been planning to do a podcast like this for a very long time. It's just a matter of actually nailing down subjects and schedules, because it's real easy for everyone to sit in a room and say, yes, let's do a podcast. But my next question is always, great, when do you want to do it? And that's when they normally fall apart.
that's when complications come into play.
Yes.
But I'm definitely down for doing this again, making it a regular thing. But like you said, scheduling, it'd have to be scheduled.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
It'd have to be free. So obviously what we should do is prep for the next podcast, have everything prepped and ready to go, and then we get that date where the time is right for everyone, bang it out.
My schedule is going to be cramped in like the 10th of June, because that's when I'm coming back to YouTube. It's going to be like full of edits and just doing stuff. So I'll try and organize myself, of course.
That's cool, dude. I mean, it's not like... sorry, my arm was to click. There we go. At the end of the day, if you can't make certain ones, then that's fine. because like you said, that not everybody's going to be interested in the same topics.
Oh yeah, right.
Exactly.
So you could get the topics to talk about. What?
Mm.
Oh, I see. So Kevin suggests making it bi-weekly. I think monthly might be too little, but bi-weekly could be doable in inverted commas.
Bi-weekly
But
is good.
that way you could get topics to talk about. To be fair, we had topics to talk about today. It's just we were generalizing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're kind of talking about basically everything. I mean, we will like make certain podcasts on certain topics. Like Marvel alone could be one topic.
Yeah, and I'd love to. Like, I don't know if Frostex has seen it, but I'm sure he could watch it to talk about it with us. But I would love to do a review with DB Geek of Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. Like, we could have that be part of the podcast. As a
Ooh, I was
section.
actually preparing to watch that.
Yeah, definitely. We could definitely do a whole thing on that too.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I haven't watched. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it just like I did with Infinity War. I'm gonna watch it before the podcast.
We could do a full-blown Power Rangers podcast as well.
I'll have to catch up on some stuff though, so I can join you guys.
I think the other thing.
Come back to us in about 5 years, Frostex.
No, actually, I'm not that late. I still know some stuff.
I've got. I think you'll be all right, Frostex. You just need to read the books. I can't see us talking about the actual show. Like, I'm not watching that show, no matter how much people want to hear my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, let's just say every episode's the exact same.
Oh.
What, you mean they morph and kill the bad guy, then it grows and then you get a jump on the swords and it blows up?
Mm-hmm. And then a cheesy line at the end and then team song.
Oh, you haven't watched it in a while. I don't even think they do the cheesy line anymore.
Oh no, damn.
It's not
They
like,
removed the one good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that they used cheesy lines. Oh my god, all the time.
My favorite line out of any of the modern series is an episode in Overdrive, which is a terrible season, but they have a team up with multiple Rangers from past seasons, one of which is Johnny Young Bosch reprising his role as Adam, so the Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, the second one, but still a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. And they have a sequence where they fight without morphing, so it's all unmorphed fight sequences. And all the other like modern Rangers, they have like civilian powers, as they call them. So one can shoot water, one can like cast magic, one's got some strange sensory powers, and the other one, it's Kira from Dino Thunder, so she has this like scream. And obviously Adam doesn't have any of that. He just has to fight them single-handedly, like actually do martial arts. And then after he's finished kicking all their asses, he just stands up and he's like, well, it may be old school, but it still gets the job done. Like, that's the sort of one-liners I need in my Power Ranger.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. I think
Dragon Crouton says he's very serious, DB Geek, about wanting to give you a Dragon Dagger.
Are you serious? Dude, don't do it. I mean, come on, dude. You keep it for yourself.
Oh, Justin would also like to know if we could put anime and manga into the podcast.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We have anime in the title, and we talked about it in a bit, for a bit.
Yeah, but we'll definitely do anime and manga focused podcast as well.
There was a team up Ghost Trooper with all the Red Rangers, but that wasn't Overdrive. That was years ago now, unfortunately. It was 2001? 2002. It was in Wild Force.
Forever Red.
Forever Red. It's a brilliant episode. I just wish it was a two-parter.
One of my favorite all-time episodes, if not my favorite.
Oh yeah, it's a brilliant episode.
Just seeing Austin St. John pull up on the bike.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
So legendary.
And just the way he talks to everyone else as well. You weren't going to do this without the original Red Ranger, were you?
Yeah. It's so good.
So full of plot holes, but so good.
Yeah, so full of plot holes, but so good.
Right.
All right, dudes, we're gonna have to call it a night.
Or a really early morning.
Or a very, very early morning, yes. I'm beat. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to the stream. It was fun. It was an awesome first, I want to say, raw podcast, but we're going to be definitely doing these more regularly when the time suits everyone. Hopefully we can actually make it a regular thing, like properly with
that aren't at like 1 a.m. to 4 a.m.
yes, like normal times of the day where people are actually alive.
Normal times of the day.
We'll definitely do that, and we're gonna do different topics on different things. Like we'll do anime, manga, we'll do Power Rangers, we'll do Marvel, we'll do DC, we'll do loads of other stuff. So yeah, tune in, dudes, tune in. But thank you for tuning in tonight. It was fun, and thank you Psycho Gold and Frostex for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
Whoop whoop.
It was fun for sure.
It was.
It was really fun.
Thanks to all the people in the DB Geek chat as well for like asking questions, keeping us going, and engaging in the conversations.
Yeah, seriously, dudes, thanks a lot. I know I didn't really read any of your comments, but I was reading them to myself, so thank you for that. Right, dudes, we're going to end it here. I'm going to leave this stream up on YouTube for everybody to watch in their spare time. I know it's going to be a long-ass stream, but there's a lot of topics covered on this stream, so I'm sure you'll enjoy some parts of it. I might even do timestamps to certain topics that we were covering in this stream.
Right.
All right, guys.
Just
thank
don't
you so
put
much
a
for tuning in.
timestamp for Samurai Jack, because I don't want people hating me.
Oh, I'm going to be putting a timestamp there, dude, with exclamation marks.
Oh my
Frostex Flames Hate in brackets.
And then he's going to tweet it saying, "This is the guy."
Yeah.
It will be coming at me as like, Frostex, hide your address.
You're getting death threats and everything. Yeah, so thanks so much, dudes, for tuning in. Like I said, that ends it here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more videos, and of course My Hero Academia this Saturday. Get hype. I can't wait. And some more awesome stuff on the way as well. Anyway, dudes, like I said, that ends the stream here, and as always, stay geeky, stay cool, be awesome, and be happy, and I'll see you dudes in my next video. See you later, dudes.